and Zinch. Hey, Jep, you're not third. You're second, you silly goose. All right, looking for replays.
This is what your ear looks
Jeez,
like. Filled with wax.
Shut up!
Here's a cotton swab.
Shut the hell up!
It pushes the...
All right, sorry, 1 second. I just want to do my audio check, and then an ad popped up. And you're going to hear the ad again until I start screaming at it, but that's kind of what I need. Looking for... There we go. All right, so we know the audio is good. Back to what I was trying to do, which is save some replays for today's games. Saving some games for the replays today. Bam, bam. Ba-ba-bum. All right, we got some replays. We're about ready to go. How is everybody? How are people? Oh, God, Jake's here. Everybody run, Jake's here. I ordered a new laptop like a month ago. Once it arrives, finally, I'm going to be signing up for some new player tourneys. Jake! The wax is back, prime true. True! That's the latest dumb thing that YouTube feels like throwing at me every 2 seconds. All right, gang. We have ended the line here. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake said the magic words, and that is the only reason I'm about to make this announcement. The only reason is because Jake said they're joining a new player tournament soon-ish. So, look at the bottom of your screen. Look at it. I'll wait. Look down there. It says new player tournament number 99. Now, me as a human being, as a degenerate scumlord who likes nice round numbers, 100 is special for some reason. 100 is a number that we as a society has picked to be a big deal for some reason. Even though it is literally no different than the number 99 or 101, it is a number that ends with 2 zeros, and therefore we're like, yeah, that's a special number. On June 26th, I will be hosting another one. Well, I'm casting. Big JP and the Clan RTK are hosting it. They do like the tournament setup and all that stuff. Anyway, I'll be casting my 100th new player tournament, and on that tournament, we are switching the format. So today's format is a Swiss 4 rounds. So everybody gets 4 games no matter what. And then they take the top 4 based on your score, put those in the little bracket. Then we do semifinals and finals, all best of 1. 2 weeks from today, that'll be slightly different. It'll be 4 Swiss rounds still, right? But they'll take the top 8 instead of the top 4. We'll do best of 1. We'll cast all 8 of those, all 8 of those top 8 players. We'll cast that bracket all the way through. And top 4 will get prizes. Woo! Now, what prizes? I'm still working on that. Because you don't want to just do raw cash money, and here's why. That's a stupid idea. People can easily make a brand new Discord account, join a new player tournament, smash the shit out of it, take the money, and be a dick about it, right? Bad idea. Don't do just cash money. We could do DLC, because then it's less worth it for someone who's really good at the game, because they usually have all the DLC already. To make a fake account to just get that account a DLC seems kind of pointless. So we could do DLC. But in my past, the new player tournaments, a lot of new players already have all the goddamn DLC. Some don't, some do, but usually the ones that win already have all the goddamn DLC. So we might do DLCs. We might. The other thing you could do is guaranteed replays, where if you get to the top 4, like 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, you get guaranteed, you send me a replay on Discord, I will cast that no matter how one-sided or terrible it is, and I will sing your praises. That's a possibility. First place, we could do art. We love doing art. We've had art for each of our faction war winners. Here, let me see if I can find a quick piece of art, because we have a guy we usually work with. Image, upload file. So I'm thinking art for top 1. Because I like commissioning art from this guy. He's good. He deserves the money, and people seem to like the art, and then I get art out of it, and it's nice. Not stream stuff. I need paintings, print. So the guy who did like this. Oh, that is big. But he did for Flying Taco's faction war win on the ogres. He did Flying Taco's custom Guy Fieri ogre, right? This guy. Look at him all scary. The image is huge, and for some reason this software doesn't default to the screen size it has, and instead it Just makes a giga gigantic version, but... So for top 1, I'm thinking art. What I'm trying to figure out is what to do besides top 1. So anyway, we'll get those details crystallized within the next 2 weeks. But if you're interested in hopping in a new player tournament, 2 weeks from now is going to be a banger. Should be hype. Should be cool. Should be fun. Jepardu is yelling at me. Why? Jepardu says we did make it 5 Swiss rounds today since challenge is relatively faster. You know what? Screw you, dude. No, thank you, Jepardu. That's nice. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. Also, if you're worried about being a new player tournament, you're, oh man, I only play 1 faction. I can't be ready for the tournament in time because I have to learn a whole bunch of factions. Nah, that was my format. When I used to run these, when I used to host them, I would do best of 1, but there was a pick and ban system. The RTK version that we've been running for these last like 2 months, I've just been casting their tournaments. They just do single faction. So you sign up as a faction, you play that faction all the way through. So if you're only good at 1 faction, feel free to sign up, dude. It's free. It's free to sign up. Maybe you'll crush some fools and get some prizes. Maybe you won't. Jacker Skins doesn't have all the DLC. That's true. When I was hosting a DLC event, you got some DLC. Got some DLC. People, whenever I host these, people hit me up and they're like, people hit me up and they're like, you know, oh, hey, can I join this thing? And then they join that thing and they win. And I'm like, cool, what DLC do you want? And they're like, I have all the DLC. You can just do whatever. And I'm like, then why? I mean, some people just like a tournament. We'll get started with the games in a second. I'm just talking to my chat. So, and not the actual 99 tourney though. Yeah. Just bought all the last DLC. Do a personal mirror stream with you. Good mess with some commission art. New player tournament, what's that all about? Pretty much anybody who hasn't won. If you win a new player tournament, you can't play in future ones. But it just helps people get into the multiplayer scene. So you're playing against other people who don't just perpetually win tournaments and are like the best of the best. So we have a whole range. We have people who have never played more than 5 quick battles. We have people who've played like 100 quick battles but are looking to get into tournaments. So you see some people who are like moderately good. You see some people who are pretty damn new and making a lot of mistakes and everything in between. It's usually just a fun time. Jake, welcome to the Skaven Mains Club. And this is the last thing I'm going to say before we get started on the replays today, get into the action. But I see Trogdor in chat. I see Jacker Skins in chat. I will say I thought of you two because I was trying to think of what to do for the 100th. And you guys are Bone Rippers. And I was thinking of for the 100th hosting like a Bone Ripper invitational. But then I looked and I had 78 Bone Rippers, which if you guys don't know, that's my role for people who have already won. That's my role for people who've already won a new player tournament, so they can't re-enter new player tournaments. And I'm like, well, then is it new player tournament number 100 if I hang out with people who've already won them and they're no longer new players? And also, I can't host a tournament with 78 people, and also like 50 of these people I haven't seen in at least 6 months, so I don't know if they play the game anymore. So it's complicated. So I thought about doing a fun invitational with 4 new players that used to be new players that I know are still around, and I always love their fucking builds. And I was names that came to mind. The reason this even came up is because I say 2 of them in chat. I was thinking about you, Trogdor and Jacker Skins. You 2 are great. I also thought of Hayseed. Hayseed is a crowd favorite. We fucking love Hayseed. He's great. His builds are always hilarious. So anyway, I just saw you guys and I was like, yay, your names came up in my mind earlier today. Thought you could use the compliment. Jacker Skins is the only Chad Dwarf player I know right now. His dwarf builds are great. The first time I saw him, he took a fucking dual flame cannon build and roasted some fools. Like, he won that game as his flame cannon just lit someone up. I don't remember the other faction. I just remember that this fucking dwarf shows up, 2 flame cannons on a small map. That was the thing that flabbergasted me, is it was a small map, and he's like, I'll take a fuck ton of artillery. Hell yeah. And he just starts blasting people. It was great. It was great. All right, we have Darth Plagueis and End of the Lion to start our day. Warriors of Chaos versus Vampire Counts. This can be a very hard matchup for the Vampire Counts, and it looks like our buddy Darth Plagueis knows roughly how to make that so. Hyper Elite Infantry being healed up by a Sorcerer of Nurgle with a constant AoE heal. That needs to charge up. And then he does have some spells he can spam out to clear out zombies, charging his heal and healing his whole army. Rotting Riders, ROR, Rot Knights, and then four Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. We have the Slaughter Guard, Chosen Corn Halberds, and then 2 Chosen Corn dual weapons. So a hyper elite build here from the Warriors of Chaos. He's going to just try and take the point and sit there and challenge the vampire counts to make him move. Also, he chose Khorne elite infantry, so they all have spell resistance to try and resist Fate of Buna or Gaze of Nagashes down the side. For the vampires, we have Vargeist, Manfred von Karstein with Gaze of Nagash, Zombie Summon Invocation Heck. We have a Mortis engine, which actually is the only hope the vampire counts have of winning versus this specific build, so we'll have to keep that alive while draining down the Khorne troops. Zombies, Crypt Horrors, and Skeletons that'll just be fed into the blender. And that is about it. Vargeist's gonna have to do a lot of work to keep the Rotting Riders and 4 Skirmish Cav away from the Mortis engine. The Mortis engine can kill all these infantry if given time, and Manfred's breath attacks will be great if he angles them correctly, because the spell resistance doesn't resist breath attacks, I don't believe. In comes the first breath attack down the line. Honestly did more friendly fire than other damage, so pretty unfortunate there, but he did the correct stuff. He just got kind of screwed on RNG. I imagine Manfred aimed at one of these models right here that are in the middle of the skeletons and not one of these models. They're in the blob. So that's like, you know, breath attacks sometimes be breath attacks. Okay, the Mortis engine is in deep. You can see the vampires are getting shredded. Their zombies and skeletons do not stand a chance against these elite Chosen of Khorne. My God, look at them. That's the most mismatched units I've ever seen. Glowing armor of chaos versus fucking zombies. Marauders peeled off by the Vargeists. And Darth Plagueis' Skirmish Cav are being kept very far away from the Mortis engine, which is good, but the Mortis engine is overextended. It ended up mostly in Chosen of Khorne, not mostly in zombies, because it just, like, the ideal is for the Mortis engine to barely touch one model and trigger its AoE drain no matter what. The problem is it ended up in the middle of a bunch of Chosen Khorne, so instead of like tickling one model and draining, it was fighting like 89 models and actually taking damage. But it has a ton of healing it can get, and you can see the drain has already been somewhat effective. These Chosen Khorne are less than half HP, and more Chosen and the Slaughter Guard are all piling in. This is perfect for the Mortis engine if it can sit mostly on its own troops like it is right now. You can see it's not really taking any damage. It's just chilling. It's just vibing. Meanwhile, it is causing that drain every so often. So great position for the Mortis engine for right now. Vargeist and Skeletons doing an excellent job pushing away the Skirmish Cav. This is the best the vampire counts can hope for. Now, obviously they would want their Mortis engine to be a little healthier than it is right now because of that first engagement kind of didn't go its way, but this is a good situation. Unholy blob fight. Nurgle casters trying to just heal up, and he is at 100% capacity, so he's trying to heal up his forces faster than the Mortis engine can drain. That's pretty acceptable. Let's see how this second breath attack goes. I see a giant clump here. He targets the giant clump. That's a better breath attack, much better breath attack. Takes a quarter HP off the Chosens. Michael Hobson becoming a Poison Globadier. Love that. Thank you. Thanks for the support. We appreciate you here at Human Boy Industries. And over here we have a Chosen of Khorne dual weapons almost routing at this point. Bounce power shift against the vampire counts, though I don't count them out just yet. This exact moment is really good for the vampire counts right now. As long as we stay in this situation where they're just draining everything, they're going to be very happy. So I think that's okay. The big problem is these Skirmish Cav, which so far End of the Line has made sure stayed far, far away from his Mortis engine, and that's been fantastic. But if they can get in range, they can shoot that Mortis engine. And as we know, like, it took a ton of damage, so its healing cap is probably right around the corner. Any additional damage on it is going to be pretty damning. Vargeist peel away from the blob fight to discourage the Marauder Horsemen from sticking around. That is good play again. But we are running into a bit of a problem. Manfred's going to have to start rationing out his zombie summons very carefully because the Mortis engine, as we saw, needs to sit on friends to drain foes. And we're running out of friends. These Chosen of Khorne, the Slaughter Guard, everybody, they have been murdering zombies all game, and the vampire counts are critically low. They've lost 1,000 troops since starting this battle, and they only had 1,500 to start. So we're going to have to ration the infantry, and this could be a problem. The Mortis engine, see when I hit the spacebar, there's no red bodies around it, it's all green, so now it's actually going to start taking real damage. Manfred needs to get a summon under it, and quickly needs to peel off some of those rotting riders, as the Mortis engine is taking about 600 HP before our eyes. Its heal cap is closing in. It's doing a good job draining, but it needs help. It needs bros, as it's lost 1,000 HP, 1,500 HP. Breath attack comes in for Manfred to try and peel for it. Does good damage to the Slaughter Guard, but it's too late for the Mortis engine. There are no zombies to help it out, and it is going to die, probably damning the vampire counts to a loss at this point. I want to see its value before it fades. 2,000 value, so yeah, it was definitely great at draining, but that crucial mistake in the late game where it wandered off without any support and got picked. Now I don't know if the vampire counts have that damage. They were doing so good. We can see the heal caps getting close for these chosen, for the rotting riders and stuff, but now there's constant AoE healing, and there's not constant AoE counter damage. Skirmish cap peeling away with Manfred, they're all running low on ammunition. They'll get a little bit more damage on him, but they're not really the big problem. The big problem is the healing blob is going to go nuts, right? So that's probably GG at this point. Do you think it's worth learning Norska before they get a new DLC? No, probably not. Just wait to learn them with the DLC. Because they're going to get a bunch of new units, and then new units change what combos are interesting and powerful, and also you don't want to burn out before the cool stuff comes out, right? Because if you start playing Norska, it's not like they're a huge faction, but you're going to play a lot of Wolfric, play a lot of Skin Wolves, play a lot of Norska and Ice Wolves, all that stuff, and then the new units will come out, and you'll be kind of already half burnt out on Norska. You'll get enjoyment out of playing the new stuff, but you won't, like, have all of that. It's just, I don't know. I don't see the point in burning yourself out right before there's a DLC, so no, I wouldn't bother learning them. You don't have the Bone Ripper roll and you won? And that's an oversight on my part. We'll have to hunt you down, Spotify. Army losses coming in as I get caught up on chat. Almost, I thought you should know that my favorite thing about you is you say the most degenerate shit instead of correcting yourself. You stop to process the thought, then you double down. I don't know what the most degenerate shit is, and now I'm scared to find out, but all right. Hey, Scotch. Leo Darrow's here. Hey, Leo. Grieven, but the walk speed buffs to Berserkers over and over again has been crucial to Norska's ability to stay in this game. Anyway, the elite infantry and the Rot Knights got insane value. So did the throwing axes. Now, again, the vampire counts always have a ton of healing, so you're going to get mildly inflated values. But you can see the infantry all got around 300 kills. This one got closer to 400, so they cleared what they needed to clear against the vampires. Mortis Engine got good value. Vargeists did okay. Crypt Horrors did okay, but wasn't enough. And if you're still in chat, I don't know how you haven't rage quit this game. I feel like every game of yours I cast, I say, wow, that was pretty unlucky. And it just keeps happening, and you just keep sending replays, and horrible breath attacks keep happening to you. And I'm like, at what point does he stop taking Dragon Lords? Because they hate him. We have Senfishy versus Lord Nearquad, which is a great name. I'm gonna save some replays really quick. But yeah, and someday your breath attack RNG will be better, and then you're gonna win a game. Well, saying that makes it sound like you've never won a game in your life, and that's rude. I believe you've won games. I just meant, like, you won't get gypped. You won't get cheated out of your rightful wins. I'm on the verge, don't worry. No, Enda, don't leave! No, we love Enda. How are you holding up, human boy? I'm good. I'm doing all right. Recent patch changes their model size. I wonder what the Berserkers are doing now. No idea. Our Grenadiers on the new patch. Actually haven't seen any Grand Cathay on the new patch yet. Bye, Jake. Hope you have a good one. For this matchup, Lord Nearquad has the Royal Altdorf Griffites, a Master Engineer on his steam tank, a bunch of Spearmen, some Huntsmen, the Templehof Luminarch, more Demigryphs, Empire Knights, and a Bright Wizard with Burning Head. No healing caster with this many elite things is a little spooky. On the other side, for the Dark Elves, we have 2 Scourge Runner Chariots, three harpies, one of which was the Crows of Cain, a bunch of Cold One Knights and Dark Riders. Then we have some Dread Spears, a Supreme Sorceress of Dark with Doombolt and Chillwind, and then one Hargoneth Executioner. In the middle of the Bleak Swords, maybe they're trying to hide as sword icon with the other sword icons, and like, don't notice that this sword is a little curvier than the other ones. Templeoff Luminarch is currently trying to counterfire Cold One Chariots. These are not Scourge Runner Chariots, they're Cold One Chariots. Interesting. That is neat. I still think you should just snipe the enemy Lord, because insta-killing their Lord and caster is always going to be better than killing some random chariots, but it's not terrible. That's definitely the second best target for it to be shooting at, but I think you just shoot the Lord, take the win. Dark Riders engage on the Royal Altar of Gryphites as Cold Knights try and come in second. With Huntsmen nearby to maybe support that, they should be okay, as the Templeoff Luminarch has been blocked this whole game. I don't know if it's gotten a single shot off. Oh, it got 250 value somewhere, so it got one shot off, but the Cold One Chariots end up in melee with Spears and Empire Knights, and they're just getting shredded anyway. But in come the Harpies and the Dark Riders on to Huntsmen. Let's see that buffed Doombolt. Pretty good damage, pretty good damage. We take those. Anyway, Huntsman getting shut down is pretty brutal for the Empire, but they're peeling everything they can. They're just getting full rush. This is kind of some of the drawback of taking expensive stuff like the Templeoff Luminarch and the Master Engineer, is your build just gets small and you can't take up a ton of space and protect your Huntsman. The Royal Drift Gryphites are just fighting their way out of bad situations. They killed almost an entire Dark Rider, then almost an entire Cold One Knight, and then they get charged by another Cold One Knight, and they're like, fine, third time's the charm, let's go. So they're trying to fight their way out of that too, while the Crows of Cain fight the Templeoff Luminarch. The other Demigryph Knights Halberds are running around peeling the backlines. The Empire is not out of this just yet, as Lord Nearquad is starting to charge with his Steam Tank through the Dread Spears. Steam Tank has come a long way from being on the first change after the Thrones of Decay, where they were crazy overpowered. They are not that overpowered anymore. They're just kind of strong, but they're usually strong when paired with a regrowth caster, because then you have an unbreakable mechanical chariot that's very tanky and you can heal it. Without healing, you just kind of have a weird chariot. So we'll see. Doombolt's in, huge damage onto the Spearman. A little bit more poke on the Master Engineer, and those buffs are feeling buffy. Though it was already not a terrible spell. It was just a little expensive, so maybe it being more damaging for only 9 wins of magic. Ooh, ooh! I think we have a new meta spell for the Dark Elves, guys, if they're not taking Melkoths or Soul Stealer. Things are looking a little dire for the Empire now, with the Templeoff Luminarch taken off the battlefield. The Master Engineer surrounded with armor-piercing cavalry, though he is maybe going to fight his way out. The Empire Spears are doing okay, but we do have Hargoneth Executioners that are more than happy to delete all your spears if you give them 6 or 7 minutes. But it looks like buffed Dark Elves are doing just fine. Buffed Cold One Chariots, buffed spells that they're brought, buffed Hargoneth Executioners, and they're winning this game. So Dark Elves OP, Dark Elves deserve nerfs. Yeah. CA messed up. Shouldn't have buffed Dark Elves. Yep. But Human Boy, they nerfed Cold One Knights and Cold One Dread Knights, so that's okay. Yeah, but I'm ignoring that to make my point. But that's not fair. Life isn't fair. You go make a YouTube channel where you can shove your opinion down the throats of the masses and they can't respond or rebuttal because it's not that kind of format. Because people watch the VOD won't see your chats, they'll just hear me. So actually, I'm gonna check in on chat. I'm gonna let the VOD viewers know what chat's thinking. Human Boy's right, Dark Elves are OP. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, from Real Gamer 6969, Human Boy's really handsome and also right about Dark Elves. Wow, that's crazy. Thanks, dude. Thanks. Oh, here's one. Take all my money, Human Boy, you gorgeous man. That's a long name. You have a very long name. I think Dark Elves are actually a little underpowered at the moment, and you multiplayer goons have... All right, never mind. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. That guy doesn't count. We don't like that guy. Oh, here's one from End of the Lion. Human Boy, you suck. Oh, thanks. Thanks, dude. Thanks. That was a real comment, actually. He's right there. You can go find him. The others, those are all memes I made up. End of the Lion's right there. He's shit-talking us. Oh, Steam Tank went out of view. Find it. Oh. There it is. I was too busy memeing. So this is normally the behavior that makes the Steam Tank strong, is just its ability to wander around like this and take forever to die. And then imagine you pair it with like a regrowth or a heal of some kind, right? That's what makes this strong. Without the healing, it's fine, but it's not that strong because it's expensive. It doesn't do that much damage, but it's insanely tanky and unbreakable and fast. But it's really the abundance of healing that the Empire can take with a regrowth caster that can make this thing powerful. But on its own, it's just a bit of a nuisance. How much value did it even get? I mean, still 1,500 value, which is not bad at all. But the Dark Elves will be able to take him down in just a second. Doombolt! How do you avoid Doombolt? If you're fast enough and small enough on a flying mount, you can usually do it. Horse mounts can sometimes do it, but you need a hill. I've found if you're going uphill and you're very fast, sometimes the Doombolt will hit the hill instead of you. But if you're going downhill, it'll usually curve down into you. So, uphill can do okay, though. Ratman sees the official page and just proceeds to devolve into, hey guys, I promise I'm not the worst. That's funny. All right, I'm catching up with chat because I love chat. 1 second. Ogre Kingdoms and Dwarves got hit harder. Yeah, Ogre Kingdoms and Dwarves got some nerfs. I wonder, I think Dwarves got less nerfed than Ogres, but we'll have to see. Because Thoric got shanked pretty hard. Losing Rune of Hearth and Home was one of the biggest reasons to take him, and then he got a 100 gold cost increase, which I'm fine with, because my boys Ungrim and Grombrindle might get to see some play. Gyros didn't get nerfed, though. And I'm not trying to be toxic, I'm just listing their strength. Gyros didn't get nerfed, so they still have pretty strong Air Force capacity. Their infantry are all still pretty good. Some of those even got buffs. Slayers are still solid. Their guns are still really good. So, like, I don't know. We'll have to... I need a lot more data before I can say if Dwarves are still on top. But my gut instinct, just based on looking at the patch notes, I'd say Dwarves are probably still at least... Let's be generous and just say they're somewhere in the top 3. And I do think Dark Elves might join them up there with the buffs they got. And their nerfs weren't too bad. I do wonder if Ogres fell out of the top 3 or if they're still hanging on. Because they were really strong. So even though their buffs are pretty significant, it's like, okay, but is that enough to drag them down? I don't know. I just don't know. The patch is too new, and I haven't cast a lot of stuff that's current, because we have Milky Way versus Gormbjorn, by the way, before we forget that. Skaven and Nurgle. But to finish my thought, I've read the patch notes, and then I had to really quickly do 2 streams in a row on the old patch, just to get the replays out for our big events before they got broken. So this is my first tournament on the new patch, and yeah, so we're still getting a feel for it. It was a pretty big patch, so I think a lot of things could change, but Gut Instinct, Dark Elves, Dwarves, and maybe Tomb Kings are probably going to be the top 3. Ogres could still be up there, but if you had, gun to my head, I had to guess before seeing them play out over the course of a couple weeks. I probably think Ogres fell out. Took a lot of nerves. Shirayuki, that's a name I haven't seen for a little bit. Welcome to Poison Globadeer. How you doing? How you doing? Tequila Sunset's the better streamer. Ban this man. No. Tequila's good. Tequila's good. I don't like him. I think he's a bad person, but he is a good caster. I wouldn't recommend him. I wouldn't recommend finding Tequila Sunset, but he's a good guy. If he was in my chat right now, he could link his channel. I would allow that, but I don't like him. All right. I'm done catching up with chat. We're back to focusing. We got Milky Way versus Gormbjorn. Gormbjorn. For Milky Way, one of our rising stars in the new player community. We do have Flensing Ruin and Howling Warp Gale and Ick Claw, very strong. Warp Fire Throwers in the front line, which I think is exactly where they should be. They kind of function like miners with blasting charges, not really like Globadiers. We have Wolf Rats, Rat Ogres, and Natty Booba Sharpshooters with some Clan Rat Spears in the back. For Nurgle, I don't want to miss the Warp Fire Throwers first volley because it's always satisfying. So, 1 second. We have Chaos Furies from Gormbjorn in the back that are going straight for the Warp Fire Throwers, trying to distract them. I wonder if these guys have guard mode on where they can still fire anyway. We will have to see. For the rest of the build, 4 Forsaken of Nurgle, 2 Plague Toads, another Chaos Fury, and then we have the money. Rotting Riders, Chaos Lord of Nurgle, and a Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, both on Rot Beast. This is a lot of the army's funds. They'll have to get a lot done. Okay, it's a new player tournament. I like to offer advice. It's against Skaven, so I don't want to offer this advice, but I'm going to offer this advice. There is one spell that is factually the best spell versus Skaven, and there are no other spells that are worth taking when you are Nurgle. It is Rancid Visitations. Rancid Visitations is mathematically the best spell to take versus Skaven. Only their Grayseer can tank out some of it, and not all of it. And if you snipe out the Skaven's Lord, you pretty much win the game. So Rancid Visitations, if you're playing Nurgle, like, it is a must take. Nothing, okay, this is fine. He's taken some other stuff. He took 2 cheap spells to try and spam him out. That's more okay. The thing I hate to see is Fleshy Abundance. Like, let me just tell you, if you're playing Nurgle versus Skaven, you cannot out-heal them. That's not a thing that's going to happen. So if you take Fleshy Abundance, you are wasting your Winds of Magic because you're trying to delay the game, which is exactly what the Skaven want. Skaven win every long game. Their damage is insane. Their weakness is their leadership and how squishy their important things are. So if you take Rancid Visitations, you guarantee damage on their Lord, which puts a timer on the game. And remember, long game, Skaven win. Short game, everyone else win. So putting a timer on it makes the game shorter, makes Skaven less likely to win. That is oversimplifying. There are certain matchups with very specific builds against very specific other Skaven builds that time favors them, but 95% of the Skaven games favor the Skaven if the game goes long. So don't make the game go long, take Rancid Visitations, don't take healing. All right, Warp Fire Thrower is trying to get shots off. This one is unobstructed, and both of them had guard mode on. Yeah, you love to see it. Almost half HP off of an 85 armor. Forsaken down to 8 leadership. Warp Fire Throwers are cool blasting charges. Now they can fall back through the Clan Rat Spears if your micro is literally perfect. If not, it is what it is. But if those were Nurglings, if those were Plague Bearers, if those were Marauders, they'd be getting murdered. And look, they're still firing in melee, my boys! Warp Fire Throwers are the goddamn goat. All right, Flensing Ruin is in. Nice Flensing Ruin onto the Caster and the Rotting Riders, but Ikit is maybe a little overextended, does need to get back home, needs to retreat. Natty Booba Sharpshooter still free and clear, firing on the back line. Really good Brass Orb from Ikit Claw, punishing this blob, and the Chaos Fury's leadership is getting critically low. They're going to start killing themselves off soon as Ikit Claw gets back. He baited him! He baited him into the Storm Vermin! Legend! Milky Way is the greatest player of all time. Holy. I'm taking notes. I am taking notes on this game, leading the Rotting Riders right into those Storm Vermin. They take so much damage. Now they're running away while getting shot by Natty Boobos. Milky Way the goat! Taking Warp Fire Throwers, using them correctly, doing the baits. You love to see it. Sucks for the Nurgle player, though. Sucks for the Nurgle player that Milky Way is a legend. All right, Skaven frontline is holding pretty well. The Forsaken are doing good damage to the Storm Vermin Halberds and whatnot, but the Plague Toads, the Rotting Riders, all those guys are having a bad time, and the Warp Fire Throwers already prompted some... Set up. They set up with some of the Forsaken to already start routing. Now the Chaos Lord and the Exalted Hero Sorcerer Man are getting through the front line. They're going to stop the Natty Booba Sharpshooters for now. Do some dogs to the Skaven in the distance, though this is looking pretty dire for the forces of Nurgle at this point. Forsaken gets some Curse of the Leper, extra armor, extra melee damage reflection, and that's pretty neat. Plague Toads harass the Rat Ogres and whatnot. Natty Boobo's getting pretty low. But they've done their job. They got a lot of damage out. And now, yeah, this is the lose-lose of a Flensing Ruin. It's like, all right, do you sit and let the Flensing Ruin get 2-for-1 value? Or do you separate out and then one of your guys is going to get isolated and then it's easier for Rat Ogres and Ikit to pick them off while the other person's just avoiding the Flensing Ruin. So it's still a strong spell. Flensing Ruin did get nerfed, but it's not nerfed enough to not be worth taking. It's still a really good spell. I think we'll see. I think we'll still see the Ikit Claw meta for Skaven, but I'd take Warlords on Brood Horrors in 3 or 4 matchups, and they got a cost reduction, so you might see Warlords a little bit more. Grayseers are still good. Snitch is okay in a couple matchups, so I don't know. I don't think the Skaven meta is going to change too much off the changes, but I think it makes some matchups where I already took the units that got buffs just a little nicer, but I don't think it changes too much. TBH. So the Chaos Lord is still dueling Ikit, and this is maybe where the game might go to shit. If Ikit overstays his welcome, the Chaos Lord is a much better fighter. Like, so we might be getting a little overconfident here. The Rotting Riders are slowly healing, and they are churning through Rat Ogres. And the Skaven DPS is down. And Ikit's now realizing that he might have gotten overconfident because he needed to just kind of keep running around in circles and being an annoying tool. He needed to not engage in the fight. Oh no, this is a disaster! Oh no! Baits them all into a flensing run. Maybe it's another masterful bait. Maybe it is. But it also could be a giant mistake as Ikit Claw ends up all alone versus the Rotting Riders, versus the Chaos Lord, versus the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle as Rat Ogres jump over. But we're leaving all of our spears, all of our infantry behind. Ikit had to play a little more Skaven-like lead from the back, but after taking the duel with the Chaos Lord and then getting isolated, he's in a bit of trouble. Their leadership is sinking, and they're not immune to psychology, so maybe some clutch terror routes will save him. The Rotting Riders are gonna rout, and then they'll lose their damage resistance. Whew, that was close for Ikit getting sniped out. And again, he goes back in. Ikit, just play like a coward. You have so much army left. You don't have to do this. You don't have to risk this much. Your pride isn't worth it. No one thinks you're courageous, no matter what you do, as he's trying to terror out the Chaos Lord of Nurgle. Because a Chaos Lord, a man who has looked Nurgle, not even a greater demon, he's looked a Chaos Lord, a Chaos God in the eye, doesn't have immune to psychology because reasons. He might get spooked by a metallic glowing wheel. And then when Nurgle speaks directly to him again, he'll be like, listen, sir, you don't understand. It was a glowing wheel. And Nurgle will be like, I don't give a fuck about that. Why did you run away? Anyway, I digress. Fecundity out again for the two single entities of Nurgle, but where's the Rancid Visitations to just kill like a claw? He's doing what I said. He's hiding behind his minions and just waiting for another Flensing Ruin. You could just point at him and be like, eat us, delete us, bam, and he's dead. And he's dead. It's the greatest spell versus Skaven. You really need to take it. Sorcerer's gonna rout again, leaving just the Chaos Lord, and I think that will doom Nurgle for real this time. Unless Ikit gets overly courageous again, which, don't do that. Don't challenge the Chaos Lord to another battle. Please. We're far enough along that the Skaven might win, even if Ikit YOLOs himself into the Chaos Lord, but let's not tempt fate. Let's just take the W as another final Flensing Ruin comes in to for sure end this game. Army losses hits, and that's it. What up, LeBaked? How you doing? Scott MC's here. Glad to have you. I say goes. I love your content, but stop helping people beat Skaven. Hey, I give advice to anybody who wants it. Just catching up on chat. Sorry for the silence. 3-0 for now, Leo Darrow. You wrecking it in there? Yeah, Leo's doing good. Sagos, I'm waiting for the toxicity to come back, because normally you only say negative things about me. Sagos, how does it feel to be right about Empire Outriders after I said they were garbage for so long and now they're actually pretty good and everybody's using them? How does it feel to make me look like a fool on live television? We love Sagos. Ikit Claw, doing big numbers post nerfs. Yeah, I don't think that boy's going anywhere for quite a while. That still looks like a strong one. Wanted to ask real quick, any advice on how to not get stomped? Should I go wide? Should I go cav heavy, arty missiles? Not sure about my base army comp. Give me advice for lizards versus Nurgle. All right, everybody calm down. So, two questions really fast. Lizardmen versus Nurgle. I know that was the second question, but I need to think on the other one real quick. All right, Lizardmen versus Nurgle. Generally, you want a Slann caster with some kind of healing because of Rancid Visitations, like we mentioned before. I would recommend Mazda Mundi. He's very strong. So grab Apotheosis and Net. Those are fine. And then you want Greater Arcane Conduit, Shield, Banishment, Ruinations, Lock. Skip that. You don't have much worry about the melee defense or the missile resistance here, but you want Apotheosis to resist Rancid Visitations getting cast on you. And obviously just to heal Mazda are important things. And then you can net the Rotting Riders in bad situations, either in front of your Dart Skinks or with Cold One Riders. Banishment, Ruination of Cities. It's tempting to throw those on the Rotting Riders. Pretty much only throw Banishment on the Rotting Riders if they're already in melee, so they're really clustered up. But if you net them and they're standing in their loose formation, I just find the damage isn't really there. So user beware. But Mazda's pretty good against like Pestigors and stuff and clearing them out and just getting them low enough that their low leadership takes care of them. 4 Jab Skinks is generally pretty good. 5 regular Skinks is fine. You could mix in 2 red crested Skinks or something like that. But the Dart Skinks are pretty great against Plague Toads if your opponent decides to take them, Chaos Furies if your opponent decides to take them, Plague Ogres, or the Rotting Riders. Like we said, if the Rotting Riders get in range and you can net them in front of 2 or 3 of these, you'll do a lot of damage, and the Rotting Riders are just worth taking down, honestly. Cold and Spear Riders are still goated, so probably take like 3, maybe 4. And these guys you want to engage with the Nurgle Lords or the Nurgle Heroes or anything, but avoid the Rotting Riders without net. You need to net the Rotting Riders and then charge them. If the Rotting Riders charge you in a fair fight, your melee stats just aren't going to cut it. You have 26 melee attack with some bonus versus large 14. That's okay, but like you need that 32 charge bonus if you're going to get through them at all, right? And if they charge you, they're just way too elite. They're going to crush you, and it's not going to be a good time. So Cold and Spear Riders need to do whatever. They're great units, but if you're going to engage the Rotting Riders, net them first. Like, that just has to happen, or you're throwing away a unit for no reason at all. Thinking, after that, like, this is your core. After that, you can do whatever. Some people really like Chameleon Skinks. They're strong, for sure. That's a good unit. Skink Skirmishers are strong, for sure. Good unit. Distilled on Solar Engine to shoot at Nurgle, reduce their healing because you put them on fire, debuff their stats to help your Cold and Spear Riders beat the Rotting Riders. That's also a good unit. That's fine. But this is like core, pretty good. Because Nurgle's Pestigors are going to have a good time versus your more elite infantry. They might lose, but they'll do well. So you just kind of want to flood them with Skinks and wait for Mazdamundi's Banishment or Ruination of Cities to clear out the Pestigors and whatever. So that's what I recommend. I'm not the best Lizardmen player though, so like grain of salt, right? As for the Empire player, he was talking about stuff, asking about his game specifically. So your game, you had the Templehof Luminarch ROR, you had a Steam Tank Lord, and then you had a Firecaster, and then you had 2 Demigryph Knights with Halberds. Yeah, okay, I remember. 2 things. 1, if you wanted to go with that exact build, just switch your Lore of Magic to Lore of Life, because you had too many elite things that then you didn't have healing for, so they're pretty easy to attrition down. So if you don't want to change the build at all, just grab a Life Caster instead of a Burning Head Caster, and you'll be fine. Other thing I would recommend, though, is changing the build. Generally, I don't like taking that many expensive things, because it makes your army so small that, like, you just get whittled down. Even with healing, maybe you can win a super long game where you get pretty degenerate with Regrowth and Earthblood, whatever. But I don't recommend it. And then you took Huntsman. So, okay. General game concept, you can't have archers in a build that's that elite, because as we saw in that game, you had nothing to peel for the archers. You did great. You played really well with like the, I'm trying to remember who you were fighting exactly. Dark Elves. The Cold One Chariots, right? They came at your front line and you immediately hit them with some Empire Knights. That was great. I love that. And then the other side, your Royal Torque fights, took a fight against the Lord and Cold One Knights before they had the Murderous Prowess. Bam, love that. You took some great engagements. The problem is your build was so elite that you picked good engagements, and then there were 4 or 5 engagements you didn't have any resources to allocate to. You couldn't take them if you wanted to. So those Chaos Furies and those Dark Riders just came and killed your Huntsmen for free. So you shouldn't have those Huntsmen. If you don't have the resources to protect them, don't do it. Now, I would argue that you should get the resources to protect them. So either take your Steam Tank Lord, who's great at killing infantry and very tanky, right? And then you don't need the Burning Head Caster, because the Burning Head Caster is there to kill infantry and stuff, but your Steam Tank's going to do that. Okay. So we can switch the Burning Head Caster to a Regrowth Caster to support your Lord. All right, then what do you need? The Templehof Luminarch was there to kill single entities and do some sniping, right? Well, we're deciding it's too expensive, so you can cut that. And your Demigryph Knights with Halberds are also pretty good at killing big, expensive things. So then why don't we just we cut the Luminarch. How much is it worth? Cut the Luminarch. You could get 2 Empire Knights for that, and that would allow you to peel for those Huntsmen, right? Or if you want to keep the Luminarch and you want to go very defensive, then we cut both the Demigryph Knights, or just cut one of them, and you could get a Halberdier and an Empire Knight. and just give yourself a little bit more space to keep working. Maybe keep the Royal Griff fights as this like central thing that can peel off and go take a big important fight, and the Luminarch's going to keep sniping. But generally, I'd recommend taking out the Luminarch. Keeping both Demigryph Knights was pretty fine, and then what did we say? 2 Empire Knights? Because you were doing good. If you had 2 Empire Knights, those Furies that landed on your Huntsman, you could countercharge them, kill them off, then you'd still have Huntsman. Your opponent wouldn't have they're Harpies, not Furies, but whatever. That kind of thing. But I think you were just too elite, because your micro seemed good. You took good engagements. You played well. Your build was just so small that you got overwhelmed. Okay. That's enough rambling, but I find questions like that interesting. Wood Elves versus Vampire Coast. Moving on. We have Leodero versus Frost, 270. As for the tournament, it's actually 5 Swiss rounds have been informed this week, and they are on round 4. So we're getting to that bracket stage. My unit with full leadership just routed because my lord left. What faction were you, Prime? How do I sign up for a tourney like this? Join our Discords, and people post them all the time. This one specifically is hosted by the good people at RTK, so you'd have to join their Discord. But if you're a person who only wants to join like one Discord and you don't want to get overwhelmed, you could join Turin's. They post on Turin's. You could join mine. They post on mine. But yeah, they host it at theirs, which isn't linked in this video description. But maybe one of the mods who's from that Discord server could drop the link. But yeah, they host it every Saturday. Whether I'm casting or not, I cast every other Saturday. But they host it every Saturday. Hi, Hellwalker. All right, chat's popping off too much. I haven't talked about these armies at all. I'm just scrolling down to see what people want. Game Boy cast the Dark Elves versus Wood Elves real quick. We'll get there when we get there. We've already cast one of your games, sure. We're trying to spread the love around. If you win the tournament, does that mean you have officially graduated and no longer being a new player? Yes. Yes. True. Okay. Let's do this. Vampire Coast versus Wood Elves. Dryad frontline mixed in with some Eternal Guard. We have a bunch of Glade Riders, some Wild Riders. Then we have 7 Glade Guard, some with Starfire Shafts, some without. Then for a caster, we have a Tessie Magi of Oscura, because this is in a different language, I guess. It's a Dark caster with Doombolt, Power of Darkness, and Soul Stealer. Nice. That's a very good build versus Vampire Coast. For the Vampire Coast, zombies, polearms or otherwise in the front line. 2 Depth Guard, Rotting Leviathan. Rotting Promethean Gunnery Mob, ROR, the Lamps Revenge. Then we have some Handgunners, some Mortars, some Animated Hulks. Count Noctilus in the front line over here with his Summons and Invocation of Heck. Pretty solid stuff. This matchup is very tough for the Vampire Coast. They are weak to archers in general, and then the Wood Elves have some of the best archers in the game, and archers that have magic and fire damage, making them good versus both Sirens or anything receiving healing, or the Lamper's Revenge specifically. So it's pretty rough. I think in this match with the Vampire Coast have to get aggressive. They're not great at firing against archers. Only their mortars really trade effectively, and then you just can't bring as many mortars as the Wood Elves bring archers, so it's tough. Wood Elves Cav getting into the back line as Animated Hulks run around trying to peel, but the Elves are fast. Vampire Coast is up on the balance of power at first. Interesting, making me look like a fool, a liar, and a chump. It's the Depth Guard are hoping to get aggressive, but I think the Wood Elves will have the legs in this matchup. I think they'll last longer than the Coast will. Depth Guard fighting Dryads for a bit. These ones, they're fighting something. But it looks like these Eternal Guard at first, and now they're moving on. So yeah, they're going to run out at the archers, and this is great. Okay, nice job. Noctilus is jumping out here with his summons, using his summons to harass the archers and push them away. And the Wood Elves probably needed to take down the mortars, so that then they have agency and can push back, because now the problem is the mortars outrange them. So every second the mortars are up and firing while you have to run away from these zombies is good for the... Whoa! You see that, Doombolt? Did you see that, Doombolt? That was insane! That does so much damage! Holy shit! That was crazy! That was at least 1,500 damage. That was nuts! What's your damage value right now? Goddamn right it's 1,200! That was insane. Doombolt is cracked. It's the new best spell. It's the new best spell for the Lore of Dark. If I see Soul Stealer ever again, I'm gonna rage quit, because why would you do that? Just take Doombolt. Holy shit. It's OP. It can't be stopped. One of the mortars is down. Wood Elves look like they're winning this shit because they brought the most broken spell in the whole game, bro. Noctis is getting crazy low, and I'm just waiting for 9 more wins of magic to delete his ass. Dark Elves OP. I know these are the Wood Elves, but the Dark Elves have more access to Doombolt than anybody else. Their Doomfire Warlocks are gonna be cracked. This is insane. I can't get over it. That was so much damage. Noctis is screwed, bro. Whoo! Whoo! Ooh, this ain't right. He's dying. He's dying. He's dead. He's trying to heal himself, but he's dead. Why would you heal yourself? Because you're dead. You're doomed. You're out, kid. You're done. You're done, son. Bam! Oh, he's crumbling. I'd be crumbling too. That was 1,000 more damage. No, that was more like 700 more damage. Calm down. Everybody calm down. Y'all are freaking out. Calm down. Wood Elf's taking the lead on the balance of power. Noctis is barely clinging to life as best he can. His zombies are still running around trying to harass the archers, but as I said, I think the Wood Elves have more legs in this matchup, and we're starting to see it now. As the summons wear out, as the mortars are finally down, the archers are rallying, coming back to the fight and offering their damage, and the vampires are just getting ground down. The Lamps of Revenge getting shot with fire arrows, which they are weak to, and it cuts their healing in half, so it's a 2-for-1 disaster. Depth Guard are murdering any Wood Elf that gets in their way, but they are weak to archers, and the archers are over here, safe and sound. Nice job, Glade Riders, running forward to catch the animated Hulks and allow these Glade Guard to get away, as Noctis has 700 HP and he's still alive. Where's the little circle that appears at his feet that kills him? Where is it? I want another circle at his feet as he's gonna heal. You're gonna let him heal like that? Hit him with the circle. Hit him with a circle. It's 9 wins of magic. I know you got that circle in you. I'm gonna keep my eye on him because I'm not missing the circle again. It's never gonna happen. A lot of zombies fighting, a lot of zombies dying. Lamps of Revenge are officially gone. Animated Hulk's trying to hold on for now, and Noctis' summon over there has 13 seconds left of life. Army losses isn't that close because circle, 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 circle. This time he's dead for sure. As the archers cut him apart, wait for the circle. Don't kill him before the circle can get here. The man only has 400 HP left and he's gone. And he's gone. That wasn't that impressive because the archers took away the fun from everybody else. No fun for us because archers exist. Army losses hits, the depth guard is gone. GG, it's over. Doombolt OP. What's the counterplay to Doombolt? I don't know. I don't know. Get an umbrella. That was an overcasted Doombolt? Gotcha. Jamuel Stackson. I think my game versus Prime was close and want to hear your opinion anyway. Why is everybody harassing me about this game? Did they buff Doombolt? Yes, they did. I feel attacked about this game. Which game is it? What are we talking about? The game versus Prime, Army losses is BS, and also Samuel L. Jackson. That's not your name, but it sounded close, so I'm going with that. Wanted to hear. All right. I'll go track down this game then. Jeez. Lesson for everybody out there. If you just harass Human Boy enough, he'll go do whatever. So that's a fun precedent for us all. Okay, I found the game he's talking about. I'm gonna save this one. There's a billion others, but I'll save those if I need them. Right now, I have a bunch of replays to get through, so I don't know if I even need to save more. But we're gonna go check out this game I'm getting yelled at about. So what the fuck army losses? It's Dark Elves versus not Dark Elves, and neither of them brought Doombolt. Okay, I'm not gonna cast that. Yeah, why would I bother casting something that doesn't have Doombolt in it? I'm kidding. I'll cast it. Hayseed's here. We talked about Hayseed earlier. All right, I'm going to my seated position. Ugh, no more standing. Been standing for an hour. My poor little legs. Okay, what are we doing? Send first Fishy versus 0 APM. Wood Elves and Dark Elves. We have Cold One Knights, Dark Riders, Cold One Dread Knights, Knights of the Ebon Claw, Crows of Cain, Frontline of Dread Spears and Bleak Swords, and then a Lord with Burning Head and Flaming Sword of Ruin. Gotcha. On the other side for the Wood Elves, 2 Glade Riders with Headband Tips, Spellweaver of High Magic up in the sky, Tempest, Soul Quench, and Apotheosis. Unfortunately, Tempest not going to be very good here. Not a lot of flying units, and the ones that there are just Harpies. So, but you got to take the spell in case of a Dragon Lord or whatever. It makes sense. We have double Waystalker, one of which has the Arrow of Kurnos. The other one is just a little poke machine. Glade Guard, Wild Riders, including the Wild Riders ROR, and then a Frontline of Eternal Guard. Okay. Haven't seen double Waystalker in a while outside of like double Arrow of Kurnos spam that sometimes occurs in some domination stuff. We tend to ban double abilities, and that's a point of like contention. There's debates about whether or not that's appropriate, but generally I just like, I think if that ability is strong enough to take 2 of it, it's probably gonna get old very quickly, so I tend to be like, yeah, I don't see a benefit to allowing double abilities, because usually it's just gonna be abilities that are so strong people are gonna be like, cool, super cool, I get double Arrow of Kurnost. Though it did just get nerfed, so I actually don't know how strong it is. TBH. Tempest and Poke onto the Crows of Cain. The double Waystalkers are shooting at Cold One Knights for now, trying to take out models. And they're proving moderately successful as we zoom in right as one gets destroyed. Looks like for now the Dark Elves they've took the conquest points. They seem rather content, but they are getting way outshots. They do need to hurry up and get into a melee engagement because all of their money is in melee. And every second you delay, you die a little bit more. Command & Conquer Generals, goated game. Dr. Thrax. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten my degree from Mail Order College. Blech. Good game. If you know what I'm talking about, great. If you don't, get good. Dark Elves are advancing. Soul Quench comes in, hits some Harpies, and then applies Quench to them, which was a weird gray square for a second, but then we got over it. Lord is going to get surrounded. I wonder if she's baiting for a Tempest or if she's just going to land, but shouldn't want this fight for too long. As Wild Riders get involved in a big old engagement. On the high ground, Wild Rider is going to fight Cold One Dread Knights, but that's going to be a terrible engagement for them. Only the Wild Hunters of Kurnos could do real damage to the Knights of the Ebon Claw. A predictive Burning Head as the Glade Guard were starting to run away, but it started kind of in the middle of their unit model, so a large amount of it missed. It's not a good cast there, but it is curving to try and make it a good cast. Oh, was it 70 chess? Apparently it was 70 chess, as that was some shenanigans. Hold on. I gotta make a short out of that. That was some shenanigans. All right, remind myself, Burning Head short 1 hour into newbie. That was crazy. All right, my note has been written. There was no way that went like wee wee. That is crazy. All right, fine. Blade Rider is still kiting to try and help out the Lord. Balance power is in the Wood Elves' favor, and I would tend to agree they have done a lot of damage to the Dark Elves. But the Wild Hunters of Kurnos now trying to get engaged. This should be a good fight for them, but it's going to get a little scary. When Murderous Prowess procs, then all these Cold Knights are going to get a lot more stats, and they'll be in melee with the Wild Hunters of Kurnos already. Here we go. So you can see Murderous Mastery in the Knights of Ebon Claw, more melee attack, more leadership, perfect vigor. So yeah, now these guys are starting to get shredded. That's a little scary for the Wood Elves. Elsewhere, I mean, the Caster Lord's still doing okay. Okay, kind of being the operating word there. She has lost over half her HP, but she has Apotheosis, so she can heal up, and the Crows of Cain, the other Harpies, are taking a lot of damage. Crows of Cain and the Harpies probably should have been focusing on the Archers, because unless you kill the Caster Lord, the damage on her isn't going to stick. I mean, she's going to heal, of course, but she's also not going to get most of her value in melee, so it's not like she needs the health. But shutting down the Archers would save you a lot of damage on the rest of your army, so probably want to go get the Archers with your flying units. As the Wild Hunters of Kurnos did end up winning out versus the Cold One Dread Knights and the Cold One Knight 2v1-ish. Other Wild Riders appear to have joined, but overall, the Wild Riders very happy with this. Wild Hunters of Kurnos got 1700 value in climbing, so they're feeling good. A fresh Cold One Knight is joining the fight, though, so this should be the end of those Wild Riders' reign of terror. Archers are getting shut down, and we still have double Waystalker just kind of chilling in the middle of the map. They've been firing. I just wonder how much value they're getting. Not a ton. Generally, Lord or Hero foot bowman units have not been feeling too good in Warhammer 3. So I'm not shocked they haven't gotten a ton of value just yet. Thinking about you, Marcus Wolfhart, you don't tend to get a lot of value. So the Wood Elves are getting pushed around. There's still one healthy Cold Knight that is a bit of a problem. If they can take that out, they'll be okay. Look at this other Cold Knight. Dude, these guys are like flat out unbreakable. Ugh. Oh! Finally rout. 400 HP left. My goodness. Another Burning Head through some of the Glade Guard, taking them out as the Skirmish Cav continue to skirmish and cav. I'm gonna feed the feed gods in the next tournaments again, Garrett. Good. We're happy to have you. It's gonna be great. Nice Arrow of Kronos into the healthy-ish Cold One Knight, correctly identifying what you have to do to win this game. The full health Helibroni can be dealt with in time. When you have full agency over the game, you can just kite them out and stuff. The real problem is just taking out this Cold One Knight and then maybe the Supreme Sorceress of Fire, but big thing is secure the mobility advantage so your archers stop getting constantly harassed. Got to get rid of the Crows of Cain, got to get rid of the Cold One Knights, and then whatever archers you have or whatever archers manage to rally can get free shots off. Looks like the Dark Elves don't want that to happen, though. So the Cold Knights pile in, taking out the final real archer of the Wood Elves, leaving just some skirmish cav, which are already low on ammo anyway. It's not like they have a ton of ranged DPS left, but they can still be light cavalry after they use their ammunition, get good charges in, get good flanks, chase stuff off the map. So they're not useless, just saying they're running out of true damage against these Cold Knights. Other Cold Knights coming back. Surely just going to filter into their doom, though, with only 400 HP and 7 leadership. They will eventually die off. Another Burning Head from the Burning Headcaster. How do you have so much Winds of Magic? I imagine these are probably mostly undercasted Burning Heads, just poking at the Eternal Guard and whatnot. As the Waystalkers get stuck in, gonna have to fight for a bit. Balance of Power goes back to 50-50. Crazy close at this moment. I have no idea who's in the lead, honestly. There we go. Getting some heals onto the Wild Riders. That should be quite nice. Cold One Knight's gonna get finished off. Down to 380 HP. And getting shot. Waystalkers, they're in here somewhere. Look at them. Look at them go. Yeah. Hold on. Swing again. Yeah. Are those really the voice lines you make? Swing one more time so I can be, yeah. Okay, yeah, those are the voice lines he makes. Waystalkers starting to rout. This is a bit of a disaster for the Wood Elves. Their heroes aren't exactly super expensive, but, you know, they have high weapon strength and a lot of ammunition left, so definitely don't want them routing as the Cold Knights come back for the umpteenth time. Should be a good Soul Quench down the side here. Hits these Dread Spear Blake Swords, not Dread Spears. Okay, hits those guys. Balance of Power is turning against the Wood Elves. I'm inclined to agree, as there's still some Cold Knights here, still being annoying. Wood Elves are trying to capture the point. Because the Dark Elves have almost won on capture points. I see. Makes sense. Who is messaging me and why? Is it about this event? No, then it can probably wait. Waystalker falling back after getting murdered by the Supreme Sorceress of Fire. She shatters. The other Waystalker is getting close to routing. Wood Elves down to just 2 skirmish cav with no ammo and a wounded Wild Rider that did just charge Bleak Swords and absolutely wreck them on the advance. And a rear charge in from the Glade Riders. Nice. Good surround. Good stuff. There are Dark Riders here, though. That's problematic. Don't love that if you're a Wood Elf. Cold One Knights randomly rout. Don't know why. They'll be back, but don't know why they routed. And there's another Burning Head. Gonna take out these Eternal Guard, and then he was trying to poke a little bit the Glade Riders, but the Eternal Guard hang on with 1 leadership? No, they shatter. Okay. All right, the world makes sense again. Last of the Wild Riders taken down by the Dark Riders. Then a Spellweaver from high on the ground tries to attack them while they're getting shot by the Hagbane bows. You have Hagbane tips. Spellweaver gets charged by the Supreme Sorceress of Fire, but she is a better melee combatant at this point. Supreme Sorceress of Fire is exhausted at 27 melee stats versus the 42-30 with almost double the weapon strength. Not double, just 100 more. Just a casual 100 more weapon strength, but the Eagle Caster is a better fighter at this point. Waystalker officially routed, so now the Harpies and the Dread Spears are starting to walk them off the battlefield. And the Dark Elf caster is chilling. Kind of surprised the Spellweaver for high magic doesn't want to cycle charge her more, but I understand the caution. Maybe wants to save up Winds of Magic for more Apotheosis. Or do you want the Winds of Magic for a Soul Quench? Because if you can get a nasty side Soul Quench down an infantry model like the Helibroni, you can actually kill almost an entire thing. Like, we've seen that a billion times in Warhammer. Amber Spear, Soul Quench, any of those line missile spells down the side of an infantry can sometimes just down the line and kill everybody. So the Hellebronai are trying to get back to the point where they can just take the point and force the Wood Elves to fight them. The Harpies were chasing off a Waystalker, which is now off the battlefield. And the Eagle is starting to cycle charge, which I think is going to be a disaster for the Dark Elves. Like, her stats are just so much better, and she has a really good charge bonus. And the ability to fly means you can always get that charge bonus, as long as you can get away from the Supreme Sorceress, but you have the cav advantage, so you can always pull back through your own cavalry. And since she's also on a horse, she can't get out of the horse models. They're all the same, like, weight and stuff. But yeah, okay, that's what I was expecting, right? I mentioned earlier that the Spellweaver for High Magic is just a much better combatant, and then she power fist Croxagores her way through the Dark Sorceress, so I'm feeling a little validated. What does not feel validating is how badly the Hellebronai messed up those Glade Riders for the 3 seconds that they decided to fight those elite spears. And I'm not complaining, I'm just saying it was funny. Like, light cavalry charge! Oh shit, run away! Don't fight the Hellebronai! Got it, understood! Eaglecaster is going to chase off the Supreme Sorcerers of Fire, while the light cavalry do their best to do anything besides fight the Hellebronai right now. Understandable. Have a nice day. Where did those Harpies go? Did they just route for no reason? Looks like they just routed for no reason. I don't see the Harpies that chased the Waystalker off. Supreme Sorceress of Fire is now getting chased by the Glade Riders. Decided that the Lord is more worth it here. Is this the good Soul Quench we were hearing about? That's a pretty good Soul Quench. That's a pretty good Soul Quench right there. Quarter of the HP off the Hellebronai from that one Soul Quench. Balance power shifting pretty heavily against the Dark Elves at this point. Supreme Sorceress still getting chased off by the Glade Riders, so that's going to go just fine. Other Glade Riders, are you cycle charging the Hellebronai, or are you trying to fight the Bleak Swords that happen to be here? I don't know, but you don't want to fight the Hellebronai. No one does. They still have more HP than you. They still have pretty cracked stats versus, I mean, an out-of-ammo Glade Rider with Hagbane tips. I'm not saying, like, the Hellebronai are OP, but just that Glade Rider doesn't stand a chance against this specific unit. Trying to capture the point, like I said, to force the Wood Elves to fight them in a more consistent fashion, but the Supreme Sorceress of Fire is going off the map. She is gone, and army losses hits, taking out the Dread Spears. So that's what he was wondering about, if army losses was legit there. It felt a little aggressive for having 2 half health, no ammo skirmish cav and a Lord at like just under half HP, because the percentage on the bar visually is always weird, but I think like actual value wise she had around half, but whatever. Let's say she was at a third. That does feel a little aggressive. I don't know if you could have won. It depends on if 0 APM had another Soul Quench. You were doomed for sure. If he didn't, then he could surround you and get cycle charges in and like try and win that way. In that case, I'd give him like a 65% chance of winning. So if he has a spell, 100% you lose. If he doesn't have a spell, 65% chance you lose. But as far as your question about the army losses, yeah, that felt a little aggressive. Very close game, though. The Waystalkers were pretty underwhelming, except for the one that had the Arrow of Kronos, so I do think that's why in Land Battles and Conquest we tend to just see one Waystalker, is because it's mostly a unit that's taken for the ability, and since we limit the ability to 1, you should only take the one that has the ability. What am I supposed to do against Lizardmen as Wood Elves? Glade Guard spam. Leodero. I've often found like 8 Glade Guard and then a couple Eternal Guard spears, and you just kite out the Lizardmen. Can be very, very strong. Dude, Michael Hobson, Red Alert 3 was not a good game, but that is a goated voice line. Red Alert 3 is not a good game. Go to get to the one place not infected by capitalism. Space! Ugh, it's good. Okay, let's get back on track. So we've cast End of the Lion. We have not cast Leodero yet, but... We've cast Lord Nearquad. We just cast 0 APM. We have not cast Felix, The Extraordinary Life of Felix. We did cast Milky Way. I'm just trying to make sure we get everybody on stream at some point. We've cast Gormbrun and Frost, so... Okay, so I need to cast Felix and Leodero. Let's watch Wood Elves kite vampires. That doesn't feel kosher. That seems like that's going to be a really bad time for everybody involved. But he does have Fate of Buna. Okay, maybe he can do it. I'm not sure. Jamuel Saxon, you had another Soul Quench. Oh yeah, then he was doomed. The campaign was gold. Which campaign? Oh. Red Alert 3. Got it. Yeah. The campaign was good. How did Milky Way do? Milky Way won the only game we've cast of him so far. Not a great game. Okay, we're ditching. We're ditching. Leo, send me something else. I refuse to cast this game if it makes Enda look bad. No, jokes aside, like vampire counts getting kited by Triple Way Watcher can be pretty miserable. But don't worry, Leo, if you're out there. I just saved a different replay from you. So don't worry. Okay, we got to get Leo. We got to get Felix. And then I think we've casted everybody as far as I know. Skaven Wood Elves. Is that 5 Warp Fire Throwers? Mahuff and Copium reduce Zinch Screamers feel a bit weak. Yes, they feel weak. I would definitely agree with that. Okay, for the Skaven, as soon as the game starts, Wolf Rats are thinking about routing, which is classic them, but they do get an ambush on Wild Riders. For the rest of the build, we have 5 Warp Fire Throwers, Rat Ogres, Avalanche Mortars, a bunch of Clan Rat Spears, Ikit Claw, of course, with Flensing Ruin and Warp Lightning. The other side for the Wood Elves, we have Wild Riders, Glade Riders, some of which are in the Vanguard. We have Erase the Frozen Heart, plus other Dryads, some Eternal Guard, and then a bunch of Archers, like a bunch. 7 Archers. Wolf Rats, after briefly ambushing Wild Riders, are now running for their lives from the Glade Riders that follow. Run, dogs, run! They're safe. They're fine. And that's a Doombolt caster. It's a Dark caster with Power of Darkness and Doombolt. Starts off with a shot against the Avalanche Mortars, takes out one of their models, but it gets probably going to be a better target for that. Anyone tried the buffed Chaos Spawn yet? I have not. Other people might have, but I have not. Higher weapon strength. They just have higher weapon strength, higher charge bonus, right? They don't have like better melee defense or anything. Teddy Spaghetti coming in clutch. So the Warp Fire Throwers are neat in this matchup. 2 problems. 1, this map has a giant hill on it that you're currently climbing, so I don't know if you're going to get the best line of sight. 2nd problem, Archers are going to go burr against the Warp Fire Throwers. So the Avalanche Mortar's got to do something about those Archers to try and help the Warp Fire Throwers out. As our first volleys are coming in. Less than 4,000 HP, no missile resistance to speak of. The Warp Fire Throwers do not like Archers. First volley's coming for them. Yep. That's how that feels. So each Archer volley we've determined can half health a Warp Fire Thrower, and there are, counts 7 Archers. That's not good. But maybe it's just a distraction to keep the Archers shooting at the Warp Fire Throwers and not shooting at the Avalanche Mortars, because now they're shooting at the Avalanche Mortars. That's also a bit of a disaster for the Skaven. Wolf Rat's going for a far flank. Don't see the Wood Elf Cavalry closing in just yet. Here comes the Warp Fire Thrower shots. We can see they're going up and over a hill, so it's proven a little difficult. And this is an unholy clump for the Avalanche Mortars to punish. Love that. Love watching those purple globes descend from the sky and cause mayhem and madness. Next Doombolt's coming for Ikit Claw. We'll see how much damage it does to him as the Warp Fire Throwers continue to try and get any shots off they can. Incoming. Bam! I mean, that's 1,400 damage. That's a lot of damage from that Doombolt. Just cast 2 of them, just got 700 value. Oh! Oh! Warp Fire Thrower still trying to help out as the Wolf Rats come in from the backside and get some of these Archers. Get them. And in come the Glade Riders. Glade Riders fighting Warp Fire Throwers and Rat Ogres. Rat Ogres should eventually win out. But the Warp Fire Throwers are under attack by the Race of the Frozen Hearts. Giving up on the balance of power for now, though I am a little worried. Ikit Claw throws out his first Cleansing Ruin. Is it Overcast? Yes, Overcast, and she's Power of Darknessing herself. So that is double damage onto the Dark Mage over there. So she should actually be pretty damaged after all that resolves. Skaven's still fighting back, so the Wild Riders and Glade Riders continue to upset the back line. But this is the part where the Skaven gets scared, is when they start losing their ranged units. Avalanche Mortar is in a bit of trouble in melee. Warp Fire Thrower is in a bit of trouble in melee. It's not going great. Brass Orb shuts down this Glade Guard Starfire Shaft briefly, but you'd see the Skaven front line isn't really getting anywhere, and not that you'd expect it to. I'm not saying Clan Rat should beat Eternal Guard. I'm just pointing out that they are, in fact, losing. And then the Rat Ogres are having a bad time versus all these Wood Elf Spears, and while getting shot by archers over at the top. So the Skaven front line is not feeling too good about what's going on. Caster ended up at half HP after the Cleansing Ruin and the Power of Darkness, but as long as she avoids the next two Cleansing Ruins, which I don't know how you do that, because they can just click on you, but if you stay alive, you'll be fine. Got the Doombolt. Let's see it. Let's see it. That's all today's stream is just watching Doombolts. This is what we do now. He has 4,000 HP as it's coming in. Bam! That one did a lot less. All right, so if you're moving, you miss some of the explosion. Okay, keep moving. Keep moving. There's counterplay. I love it. Best spell in the game. Don't nerf it. Don't buff it. Just leave it exactly how it is. Maybe make it one wind of magic. Make it more interactive. No, I don't know how to feel yet. It seems like it's very, very strong for sure. Warp Fire Throwers holding their own against the Glade Riders as they start to retreat. If you could get a shot on their backside while they run, that would cause them to rout because of the leadership debuff on the Warp Fire, but it looks like they're busy dealing with the Race of the Frozen Heart and whatnot. Balance power is 50-50. Skaven's still trying to overrun this side, but these Eternal Guard have been holding forever, and these archers are continuing to just light up whatever is in their way. It uses a little Warp Lightning on some Eternal Guard, getting good damage on them and the Glade Riders. Going to rout both of those very soon. But Wild Riders are coming back in for a nasty charge on the Rat Ogres. They're trying to catch Ickets. They're not going to get that free charge on the Rat Ogres, but it looks like they will catch Icket. Okay, I thought the Rat Ogres might accidentally peel them, but Icket is now stuck in armor-piercing spears and decent cavalry as he starts to run away. But he gets the single entity thing where now he gets to just run away and they'll follow him slowly. Unlimited power did unfortunately damage Icket. The bounce power is turned in the favor of the Wood Elves as more and more white flags appear above the Skaven units, and I think we have a Doombolt coming for Icket any second now. There it is. But oh, it might be OP because he's moving. He's going to be fine, but the Wild Riders are actually going to take so much damage from the friendly fire. Yep, this is the play. It's definitely going to happen. I'm not just coping. I was coping super hard. He died instantly. He gets a Cleansing Ruin out as he's routing, but that one, he was moving and that one did the 1,500 damage, so I don't know. Doombolt seems like it has a little bit of RNG on whether or not it's going to do 500 damage or 1,500 damage. That's funny. Did they change something about Fireball? Not that I know. Personally. Army losses hits. Icket Claw is gone. And Doombolt pumping value. Even if you're trying to dodge. I love, like, I know I mentioned it, but one time he dodges, it takes 500 value. The next time he dodges, 1,500. Explain the difference. It's the Overcast. Oh, that's right. People keep mentioning that to me. So some of these might be Overcast, some might be. Yeah, that's a good shout out. Okay. We gotta keep booking along if we're gonna get a Felix game here. How are we doing on the bracket? Still in round 5, so no one's waiting on me just yet. Let's get Felix on the screen and then call it. What do I need? Okay, we either do Felix. We just cast Felix. We just cast Milky Way a second ago, so let's do this one. Felix versus 0 APM. If this is the Felix I was thinking about, like, I used to be an RTK, like, literally years ago. And Felix was a bro. Hang out with Felix, Bob Tresh, Jay Phoenix a lot. So if this is Felix, welcome back. If this is a different Felix, because RTK is also famous for having too many people with the same names. They had They've had 2 platypuses. They've had 3 Bobs. Bob Tresh, Bob Man, and then I swear there was a Domination Bob. Bob Dat Builder? I don't know if he's in RTK. Anyway, RTK has too many people of the same names, so I would not be shocked if this is a different Felix they recruited. But if it is the one I remember, good to see you. All right, let's do this. So, 3 skink skirmishers, 5 skink cohorts of javelins, some pterodons with fire leech bolas, 2 of them, 2 solar engines, then feral cold ones spear riders, and Lord Mazdamundi on toilet seat with apotheosis, net, and harmonic convergence with his 2 bound spells. We have houseplant and house cat. Gotcha. On the other side, for the wood elves, Apotheosis, Tempest, and Soul Quench again for 0 APM, a mixed front line of Dryads and Eternal Guard, a bunch of Glade Guards, some of which have Hagbane tips, Wild Riders, Wild Hunters of Kuranos, and then Glade Riders of Spears. 0 APM, if you're still in chat, just a heads up, I generally think that the Starfire Shafts are better versus Lizardmen than the Hagbane tips, because you get the magic damage anyway, but then you also get fire damage to reduce their healing and armor piercing to get through their thick hides. So generally, you just want Starfire Shafts versus the Lizardmen. Starfire Shafts or regular, but the Hagbane tips don't really offer too much. I know the poison's kind of nice, but if you're paying the extra money, just get the Starfire Shafts. Anyway, enough of that. Wild Riders getting netted down. As the skink cohorts of javelins are throwing in, someone asked earlier about how to play Lizardmen versus Nurgle, and remember how I said you need to net the Rotting Riders in front of skink cohorts? This is like exactly what you wanted to do, but it's versus Wild Riders, but still, you can just get out great value. Ruination of Cities goes out from Felix. He got very unlucky on the directionality of it, so the Glade Guard will get through unprovoked. I was going to use a different word, but it has different connotations and YouTube would get mad at me. Ooh, we do have some Glade Guard that are ending up in melee with Mazda. He's going to throw a Banishment down right on top of them, so this is a pretty unfortunate misplay here from the Wood Elves. Their guys do need to back off, but is it all a bait? As the Wild Hunters of Kuranos are going to come for Mazdamundi, they could get a good surround on them. There's not a lot to peel them off right now. We know they can do a lot of damage. They stop briefly. Looks like they don't want to get hit with that banishment. They are going to go past Mazda. I wonder if they're going to run into the backline and try and harass solar engines. I get it, but I think you maybe should have taken the free damage on Mazda. Backline is getting compromised. Wood Elf archers are having an issue finding somewhere safe to chill. And some of these archers are trying to pick off the pterodons on their way in, but the pterodons should be able to get a rock drop onto these clustered up guys. You can see they're lining up for it. There it is. Big damage on the archers. And I don't know where these archers are going. They're kind of wandering into melee. So it looks like 0 APM is having difficulties with how spread out and crazy this battle is getting, as a couple of his archers keep ending up in odd spots. Oh, I wonder if he does the thing I do all the time, where you click on something to attack it, but you somehow barely click between the models, so then you end up walking at it. I do that all the time, and it pisses me off. Okay, that could be it. Wild Riders still running around trying to get good value somewhere. They hit some Feral Cold Ones, and now it looks like they're moving on to the Bastildons. They do have anti-large and armor piercing, but I don't know. I feel like I have issues killing Bastildons, even in situations where I feel like I should be shrekking them, and they're getting blinded by the other one, so... If the Wild Hunters shred this guy, then cool, but I'm going to bet that they don't. Very close game balance of power-wise so far, as more archers light up these pterodons with Fire Leech Bolas, doing good damage there. The other one used its rock drops. Now it's just kind of a half-assed dog unit. It does have its little grenades it throws, and some people swear by those, but I don't know. The last 3 or 4 times I've tried to make them work, they didn't do any damage. I'm feeling validated about the Wild Hunters of Kuranos, as they're not exactly getting off the most damage on the Bastildon, but Apotheosis heals them up in an already pretty decent situation. Archers still trying to harass those pterodons and just get rid of them once and for all. We do have Wild Riders charging Feral Cold Ones, who are apparently rampaging, but the Wild Riders are so damaged, I don't know who wins that fight at this point. I would guess the Wild Riders win, but not by a lot. Yeah, the Wild Hunters just didn't get much done here versus the Bastildons. Bastildons don't have a high melee defense, but something about their teeny tiny model size I feel makes them really hard for melee units to deal with, and the Wild Hunters just couldn't quite get their bearings, so it's a pretty big loss for the Wood Elves there. They probably should have just taken the fight on Mazda, unfortunately. Glade Guard under attack by the pterodons again. They're doing pretty well against the pterodons in melee, but the pterodons are just stalling so that the solar engines can get shots on these nice blobs of infantry. Now, it's not the most damage, but it's damage, and considering how late in the game we are, you need any real shots you can get out. Doesn't look like it, though. They got distracted by some routing units near them. Now he's moving over. I wonder if he's going to try and shoot those Eternal Guard before they unclump, but it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. For the Wood Elves, we have some disparate rallying forces. As we see these Wild Riders still fighting the Feral Cold Ones. It looks like they will eventually lose that. But, I don't know. The Lizardmen also have disparate rallying forces. And we even have some Feral Cold Ones chasing down the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. Spellweaver High Magic is really trying to get over here and peel. Trying to save the Wild Hunters. They do still have 25 out of 60 models. That's actually a lot of models. Wow. And she is going to land on them with her superior speed. Uh-oh. Don't do the flying jank thing. We really need you to land if you're going to save the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. She lands on the Feral Cold Ones. Their leadership goes negative. It goes up to 0. Wild Hunters, you coming back or what? They're routing. They're routing. You're good. You're good, bro. No, rally, please. No, don't do this. Oh, they went off the map anyway. They were too close to the routing Feral Cold Ones. You hate to see it. Well, without the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, that might just be the death knell in this. I don't know if there was too much the Wild Hunters could honestly do, but they're a powerful force, so maybe they could have. But at this point, Mazda and the double solar engines, that's a lot of terror. That's a lot of healing. They still have a good amount of ammo to just keep shooting at stuff. And I don't know how much a Spellweaver for High Magic can do here. Bastillodons do no damage, so it's fine. No one is saying Bastillodons are overpowered. Well, okay, someone somewhere is, but in this conversation, no one's saying Bastillodons are overpowered. I was just saying they don't take as much damage as you might think they would, and I was trying to explain why the Wild Hunters of Kurnos didn't get much done. Felix is back from hiatus? That's cool. Got the like joint. Lizardman just won. Mantis, are you Ama Mantis? Are you the Mantis I know, or are you a different Mantis that just has a very similar picture? Does not seem like a new player. Felix? No, Felix is a very old player. Very old. Yeah. But he has not played in like literal years. Like this build is very Warhammer 2. Like there's not a lot of damage here, which is why the game is taking so long for him to close out. This feels like some old Bob Tresh stuff. And Bob Tresh was like, for a while, he was like the RTK's Lizardmen guy. So, and Felix and him hung out a lot. Fun fact. Felix, Bob Tresh, and Bob Mann and I did a D&D campaign together. It was a good time. Is it Felix? Felix! Hi, Felix. I'm going to fast forward at this point, I think. Because there's no shot this non-armor piercing eagle beats 2 Bastillodons and Mazda in melee, and that's really all that's left for the Wood Elves here. I love the one where the Hellebroni got army loss. I was going to fast forward, but now it looks like the game's about to end, so I'm actually just going to play it out at normal speed. But anyway, I love how the Hellebroni got army lost earlier versus 2 half-health skirmish cav with no ammunition and an almost dead lord. But this lord isn't getting army lost as she has to fight all these dinosaurs. It's like, okay. What do you mean this is very Bob Tresh X? It is very Bob Tresh X-esque Bob Tresh. How you doing? Is Bob coming back too, or is it just Felix? Because if Felix is coming back, I'm excited. If Bob's coming back, I'm terrified and alarmed. Good game overall. That was pretty close. Until the Wild Hunters just ended up T-posing on a Bastillodon for a little bit. That was pretty doom and gloom. I wonder if they could have sniped out Mazda. Maybe. Now it is risky to do that in front of 2 solar engines because they could have gotten a lot of damage out, but I think that was all the Wild Hunters could do at this point. You heard a Halo video game guy is in charge of D&D now. That's fine. I've been doing like homebrew shit for most of my time now. Looks like we're in the top 4, so I need to stop screwing around with Swiss stage. I need to pay attention to the tournament guy. All right, I'm busy yelling at the tournament people who are just doing their best why we don't have a top 4 yet. Get ready to be terrified. Bob's coming back, baby. Let's go. Did you ever get your Croc scores painted? Watch the Lizardmen Warriors of Chaos game Felix played. Where was it? It was peak? Oh, well, when you say it like that, I'm starting to think I should avoid it. All right, I gotta figure out if there's a top 4. Give me a second. Because I think the Swiss stage is done, so we should have our semifinalists and finalists. Which is why I'm just chilling. I did get them painted. Dude. That's hype. I painted my Queek. I didn't paint anything else. I have a whole bunch of gray Skaven that I just use for Dungeons and Dragons type things. My friends get so annoyed at me because, like, whenever we do a minis game, like, even a game, like, here's the thing. No. Real talk for a second. Even if we play, like, Clue, right? Fucking Clue. I will still replace whatever miniature is mine with a tabletop Skaven model. And my friends are just like, for the love of God, you have to stop doing this. Not everybody can be Queek. All right. So we have Felix versus Leo, and then we have Alcades versus Milky Way for our semifinals. So we do have 3 live best of ones to get to, which we will start any second now, as I wait to be invited to a lobby, which means we need our blocker. Dun, dun, dun. It's Hazel Basil. All right, Milky Way has a lobby for us for our first semifinal. Felix and Leodoro will hopefully get set up, and then we'll spectate those chumps later in a second, because it's best of one with no pick and bans. This shit shouldn't take too long. Also, Felix, if you still lag when we play the game together, I am going to be pissed. Why did Torreson rematch? Not Torres. Is this for my events or for fun? Just wondering what folder to put it in. Okay. And that'll be my problem later. Hey, it's 08 p.m. Hey, it's Milky Way. We know these people. Look at that puppy with an octopus hat. Look at that puppy with an octopus hat. That's a good pup. It was her. We don't know when her birthday was, because she was an adopted little stray. But we celebrate her an adoption day, and it was yesterday. So Hazel got a frozen. She got a Kong frozen with some peanut butter and treats in it, so it takes her longer to clean it out. She went on a longer walk than usual, and she got a new toy. So she had a good adoption day. Skaven wood elves. I'm looking at the builds. I'm looking. They're both pretty trash. They're both hot garbage. They're not Lizardmen Pterodon Kite, so they're not for me. I'm out. I'm not casting this game. Why am I getting pinged on my own server? Oh, Tequila Sunset's hosting his faction war tomorrow. Good for you, buddy. Killing it. Let's get into game. This is a live game. There might be a little bit of lag. That sometimes happens. If you see lag, call your local authorities and report a burning building. They love that. They love prank calls about burning buildings. Do that. If you see any lag, prank call your local emergency, underpaid, overstressed workers. It's not dangerous. It's funny. They'll love it. There's no way they could possibly figure out who's calling them. And there is no way you get in big trouble. Broken Citadel, Big Sad, missed the top 4 by Buchholz points. GG to top 4. Did we cast one of your games, Broken Citadel? Did you get on the big screen? Because your name doesn't look like one of the Discord names, but I know sometimes people have different Steam, Discord, and YouTube's, which makes it very hard to fucking talk to you people. Sometimes some guy will show up and it's like on YouTube, he's like Jared from accounting, and I go, "Oh, were you in the tournament?" "Yeah, my Steam name was ButtDog69. "Oh, okay, cool. I don't know you on Discord." "Yeah, on Discord, I'm Mulger the Mighty." And it's like, none of those are remotely close. How the hell am I supposed to find you? Yeah, Mantis is here. Dude, today is the day where all my old friends are popping back up. That makes me happy. Oh. Oh. Mantis is back. Bob's back. Felix is back. Don't know if they're playing the game, but they're back. They're chilling. Gormbjorn! I remember you, the Nurgle player. Love that. Okay. What do we got? What do we got? Semifinal. This is live. This is not a replay. We have no idea who wins because it is happening before your very eyes. We have 3 Glade Guard Starfire Shafts, 4 Eternal Guard, a couple Wild Riders, a couple Glade Riders. We have 1 Waystalker with his Arrow of Kurnos, not 2 like the other time. Some Dryads, some Glade Riders. And we do have a Dragon. So we have a Forest Dragon with a Spellweaver of High Magic with Apotheosis and Soul Quench. And the Forest Dragon is just the Forest Dragon. Terror-causing Spooky Forest Dragon. For the Skaven, we have some Wolf Rats over beyond that. Their terrain piece. We have Warp Fire Throwers, Clan Rat Spears, Poison Wind Globes, Natty Boobo Sharpshooters, Skaven Slave Slingers, Rat Ogres, and of course, Akit Claw with Flensing Ruin. And Howling Warp Gale. Not Howling Warp Gale. Warp Lightning. He wishes he had Howling Warp Gale. And it is a high caster. It's not a Doombolt caster. 0 APM doesn't want to cheese their way to a win. Sego said, "Just so you know," and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. What tentacled beast of chaos is this? Hey, Harabeck. Alright. I'm busy checking up on things. Darth Plagueis is cheering for Milky Way. Trogdor is cheering for the Forest Dragon, because Trogdor is a degenerate Wood Elf main. Just kidding, we love Trogdor. Okay, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something kind of important, then I forgot what it was about this matchup. Whatever. Doesn't really matter now as we're into it. Natty Booba Sharpshooters need to get what they can done. Looks like the Skaven should be able to pretty easily take out the 3 archers before they lose all of their range units. And this time the Warp Fire Throwers are already in close enough range that it seems like the Glade Guard are shooting at the other priority targets, so the Warp Fire Throwers might not get instantly deleted this time. Side Shot Arrow of Kurnos, one of the better reasons it keeps getting taken. Lots of damage on that spell there, so good usage. Good job. Was it about Ikit? I don't remember. I don't remember, dude. Warp fire throwers chasing the Eternal Guard away, but as long as they run away, those flame shots will fall a little short or just dissipate into the air. Globes dealing with these guys. And the Skaven build is getting pulled apart, so I'm a little worried for Milky Way here. As they're not keeping it tight, the Wood Elves are going to find ways to get their cavalry in between the flanks, in between these gaps and all the infantry and whatnot, and the Rat Ogres are going to be too slow to stop them. So Skaven's still chasing the Glade Guard, still chasing the Eternal Guard, and like I said, it's just getting pulled away. These gaps are getting wider and wider between where you have melee units to stop anything from happening. Natty Booba Sharpshooters are getting spotted, but they have Stalk and Snipe, so until you actually spot them, the only thing you can see about them is these little purple bullets. So it can be actually hard to dodge with your Lord, because you don't even know if they're targeting you as long as they're stalked. It's hard to tell if they're stalked right now. There's nothing really in range to see them, but yeah. Forest Dragon taking some damage. Flensing Ruin overcast onto it while Ikit takes the melee fight. Man, Milky Way's Ikit Claw has been taking melee fights all day. Now this one's working out because the Forest Dragon isn't exactly a great melee combatant, and Ikit's just trying to keep it on the ground in front of the Natty Booba Sharpshooters and not dodging. But with Apotheosis coming in to heal, Eternal Guard coming in to support as well, Ikit might not want this fight for too much longer. But the Forest Dragon does rout while above half HP because, I don't know, reasons. Forest Dragons aren't considered generally good. Waystalker's still firing over at the Natty Booba Sharpshooters as best he can. Really, he's just waiting for his next Arrow of Kurnos cast. Balance of power is in the favor of the Skaven, though the Wood Elves are actually up on damage value. I am confused and alarmed and scared. As the Forest Dragon's routing, this should get to safety unless Ikit actually gets microed to just follow it. But, ooh, he rolled right through those Glade Guard. I honestly thought he'd get stuck on him for a bit. Okay, so Ikit might chase the Forest Dragon all the way off the map. That is really bad for the Wood Elves. Not for Ikit. Ikit's loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Wood Elves trying to capture the point for now, but maybe they decide it's just not worth it, and they are going to sprint down to the Natty Booba Sharpshooters. Now, this is one of the Skaven jank moments. Either these guys are going to die instantly, or they'll take surprisingly no damage for no reason and be perfectly fine. We're going to find out, as the impact damage really doesn't do much because they have super low model counts, and it looks like we're getting the big damage one. Nope, they stopped taking damage for some reason. I don't know why Giselles do this, but they sometimes do. They just don't take damage. I don't know what that's about. Messed up. Should they have died there? Of course, but they didn't. Skaven Slave Slingers, very close to routing, but they're getting a little bit of extra damage out before they go as the Eternal Guard creep in. We still have some Glade Guard Starfire shafts, and it looks like they're going to go deal with those Sharpshooters, but they should probably shoot at the Rat Ogres. It looks like the Sharpshooters are going to get taken out by these Glade Guard. This would be a big opportunity, the Glade Riders. This would be a big opportunity for the Glade Guard to get good shots in onto those Rat Ogres and take out some of the more mobile elements of the Skaven force. Arrow of Kurnos, 2 uses left. Still haven't seen a good use of it after that very amazing first one, but I think he's waiting for Ikit to come back in range and get some good sniping over there. Balance of power, still a little shaky for the Wood Elves, like just a little bit, like 5% in the Skaven's favor. Damage value is 1,000 in the favor of the Wood Elves, and they don't even have... Wait, the Wood Elves have the healing, so the Skaven should be the ones getting artificially inflated damage values. But the balance of power is just so bad for the Wood Elves. I guess it's because the Forest Dragon went off the map with half his HP. That's probably something. Really nice collapse in from these Wild Riders and Spellweaver, but here comes Ikit's tax, the Flensing Ruin, and it is overcast as well, so it's going to be pretty nasty. But yep, the Waystalker was just waiting for Ikit to come back, hits him with the Arrow of Kurnos. It does a little bit of damage, not as much versus a single entity as it does when it goes down the line of infantry, but it's still good. Still good. Now, the Spellweaver isn't as helpless as some of the other targets for Ikit Claw's Flensing Ruin. She does have Apotheosis, so as this goes on, she can just heal herself. And nice Opal Amulet usage. That's going to deflect 20% of the damage for the rest of the cast. Waystalker's still firing at whatever he can. Wild Riders and Archers trying to chase off Rat Ogres. The other Rat Ogres harass things. But, oh, there's a full Wild Rider over here? And there's Glade Guard. What is this? What is this Wood Elf pocket of strength that isn't being used? Spellweaver's got to get off the ground. She's got to use an Apotheosis or 2 on herself and get to safety. But overall, the Wood Elves need to reform lines around this area of strength over here. Skaven get a Rat Ogre back, full health Rat Ogre, but honestly, with a full health Wild Rider and not a lot of globes to speak of, I really like the Wood Elves' chances in this game. I think that bounce power is a little aggressive, considering we have a full health Wild Rider and a pretty darn healthy Glade Guard. Because it's factoring in her health, right? she's very damaged. But as we discussed previously, her health doesn't matter. She's not going to do too much melee. As long as she's still alive and casting spells, you're getting 100% value out of her. And Ikid is nearly full HP, but he's kind of similar. Like, he doesn't want to get stuck in these Wild Riders. He doesn't want to get shot by the Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts, so he could die very quickly. Now, what is concerning to me is the Glade Guard had to stop and fire at Poisoned Globes, which I get it, but now what do you shoot at? Ikid or the Rat Ogres? And the Wild Riders are kind of abandoning their post. They took a little too long to turn around, so Ikid is going to stop the... Ooh, I thought he was going to stop the Glade Guard, but he backs out at the last second, trying not to get surrounded by these Wild Riders, but that does allow the Glade Guard to keep getting shots in your full health Rat Ogres. Soul Quench comes down the line. Hits the globes, nice side shot, and the little extra soul quench damage might get rid of him as some Eternal Guard are coming back. Waystalker still has one arrow of Kronos as he's way off in the distance, just kind of chilling. Wild Rider's going to run down Skaven Slave Slingers, should get rid of them pretty easily, as the full health Rat Ogre from before is still just kind of hanging back, trying to avoid some damage here. As Poison Globes get a good volley on the Wild Riders, Apotheosis tries to heal them back up. Wood Elves falling further behind on the balance of power, but they've maintained this 1,000 gold value lead for most of the game. Waystalker's coming back, but we know Apotheosis is down. If that's overcast, she might die. It's undercast. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be okay. Because with no Apotheosis to heal herself in the middle of it, that could be pretty brutal, was my entire point there. Wild Riders trying to lead the globes on a merry chase. You can see the Glade Guard have thrown guard mode on, and they're just trying to get a couple quick shots on those globes and get rid of them so the Wild Riders can commit without fear. Waystalker's coming back to the fight. He has 5 regular ammo. Does have a... What the hell? Sorry, he has a Arrow of Kronos left, but she threw a random Soul Quench that just kind of stun-locked me for a second. Apotheosis to heal her back up, but I don't think that Soul Quench was worth the Winds of Magia. Winds of Magia. We're having a day, apparently. It gets down to half HP from the sniping of the Waystalker. Wild Riders charge in, get rid of the globes once and for all. They're going to charge over here, get rid of those slingers. We still have a full health Rat Ogre, a full health Clan Rat Spear, and it gets at half. Without the Glade Guard, I don't know if we have the damage to win this. Wild Riders running into Clan Rat Spears. They should probably just take this moment to run down everything that's over here. Get rid of those guys. They're going to charge backwards into those Rat Ogres. Could get rid of them soon, but now the other Rat Ogres and Ikid are going to surround these guys. Skaven still 1,000 behind on the damage value. Big heal coming in for the Wild Riders, and you do need that if we're going to win this game. Waystalker's down to 2 shots left and no arrows of Kronos. What to do, what to do, what to do. Nice Brass Orb from Ikid. Should catch most of those Eternal Guard. That's going to be actually really big for this Skaven as the Wild Riders get rid of more Skaven Slave Slingers. And that's really, this simplifies down to just this Rat Ogre, this Spear, and Ikid. Everything else is so wounded, it doesn't really matter. Versus, ooh, a Glade Guard's coming back. That's huge. They still have 30 models out of 90, so that's 1/3 of their damage, but if they can shoot the Rat Ogres, that would actually be pretty clutch. No one's captured the capture point yet. For all we know, this goes on forever. Shattered Rat Ogre, Shattered Poison Globes, not Shattered Poison Globes, Waystalker with no ammo, so he's just a little melee guy. As Wild Riders continue to run around. Ooh, they're going to ambush some Rat Ogres that just came back, and unless Milky Way sees that and counter charges, they are going to route like on the charge, because getting rear charge is pretty brutal for your leadership. There they go. And the caster lady, I don't know if she has more healing. She has cast a lot of Soul Quenches and Apotheosis this game, so who knows. They're both cheap-ish spells, so maybe she has some left in the tank. I don't know. Sneaky Clan Rats try and take the point. They're about to get wrecked by Eternal Guard, but the Glade Guard, oh no, 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 no. Turn, fire, fire, you don't have a lot of time. Oh, this is a disaster for the Wood Elves. A Flensing Ruin onto the Spellweaver of High Magic, and the Glade Guard are not taking this opportunity to fire, so they're just going to get run down. That was like half of their time to shoot gone. Now you can see how close these guys are compared to their range, right? They could have been firing through the whole range. Apotheosis on the Spellweaver High and Opal Amulet to stop some of the Flensing Ruin damage. Good shots onto the Rat Ogres, but it sees you now. They're getting a couple little volleys off. It's just a little bit of poke damage. I feel like a lot of those missed for some reason, but Ikid's going to roll straight through them and get rid of these guys nice and quick. As Wild Riders run down the last of those Skaven Slave Slingers. The Rat Ogres charge onto Brace Spears. Ooh, this is a moment. This is a moment for them to come back in the game. The Wood Elves doing their best. She's going to rear charge the Rat Ogres. That is incredibly risky, but I understand the temptation as the Clan Rat Spears got hit with the Soul Quench. That did do a lot of damage to them. The Wood Elves are trying to come back in this game. Relying on the Soul Quench instead of healing is ballsy, but 0 APM is a ballsy kind of lad. And another charge coming in. The Rat Ogres leadership is not doing too good, and we even have another Apotheosis for the Lord. If you get rid of the rat ogres, this game is winnable, but in comes a warp lightning. Can the Wild Riders dodge? Because if that hits, that's going to be a disaster. Oh, it's so much damage. And they charge back into the clan rat spears, who are unbraced, but the rat ogres were so close to routing. Not like you made a bad decision. It's just kind of, there's only bad decisions, but the rat ogres rout. The rat ogres leave. The clan rats are so close to routing as well, leaving Icket all alone. Does Icket have more Flensing Ruins? Can he hold on? There goes the clan rats. They're for sure going to rout when a lord charges them from the skies. They're going to rout, but the wild riders terror rout. They leave. They leave the wood elf caster on her own. She's got to get up in the sky. She's got to run down the rat ogres herself. She's got to get away from Icket, and she does. She gets up in the sky. Icket might have a Flensing Ruin, but the waste stalkers after the clan rats. The wild riders get an apotheosis, and the wood elves are back, baby. 50-50 balance of power. Icket's sitting there. He's spamming unlimited power. He doesn't take the overcast damage, which is pretty lucky for him, as the wild riders are sprinting to get back in range of the rat ogres to make sure they don't rally, but Icket is between them and their target. He is going to side charge into them. The wild riders have to just stop and take the fight onto Icket. Now, do you help the wild riders versus Icket, or do you chase the rat ogres? No good options, no bad options, just very comparable, super similar options. Flensing Ruins coming for the Spellweaver. Do the wild riders turn and fight Icket to get out of it? They do turn to get out of it. They don't go to fight Icket, but this could be a big problem. Does she get sniped out? Opal Amulet's trying to save her from the damage, but Icket is here. She gets back up into the sky where she can chase the rat ogres at peace while the Flensing Ruin continues to just poke her down. But again, that 20% damage resistance is coming in clutch. Good damage on the clan rats, but they're trying to avoid Icket charging them in the back, and Icket is coming for blood as he runs down one of the wild riders and grinds it to death under his doom wheel, pushes the other ones away, and they did get terror outed somewhat recently, but that's going to be coming off cooldown very soon, so these guys could terror out again. Rat ogres getting run down by the Spellweaver of High. Wild riders trying to avoid the clan rat spears. Icket is coming for them buns. Waystalker has still captured the point. And this could be a problem. The Spellweaver of High got stuck in an attack animation, killing one of the rat ogres, but the other ones got so far away. They are on the cusp of rallying because she took so long to kill one of them. Oh, no, she misclicked. She misclicked. Do they get out of range? No, she almost let those rat ogres come back, and that would have been a disaster. As Icket Claw deals with the last of the wild riders, he does so much damage to them in melee. He pushes them away. He's down to 3,000 HP. The caster for the wood elves is at 750. The Waystalker is at full health, like literally full. He has not been damaged at all. As the rat ogres go off the map officially, the clan rat spears have rallied for real, and we have no one on that side of the map. This is all. For tournaments like this, do you cast all the matches? There is a selection process. So for the new player tournaments, I cast everybody at least once, just to make sure everybody who participated got on screen at least one time. Then I cast the live games for sure. And then after that, I go back through the replays and cast anything that looks particularly interesting, depending on time. But if I have to go, then I skip it. Blade Guard get ground under the Doom Wheel and shatter as the Waystalker turns to fight Icket. He's gotten a couple good attacks in. Icket went from like 3,000 HP to 2,200, so the Waystalker is actually kind of beating his ass. Icket does have a bonus versus infantry on his chariot mount, but the Waystalker's stats are cranked. 41 melee attack, 45 melee defense. He ain't going nowhere. Spellweaver High's coming back. I don't think she has any Winds of Magic left. She has been pumping spells all game long. She is done. All right, checking in on chat for a second while the Spellweaver of High dinks around. The Waystalker just waits for them to come back. It was unlimited power. Gotcha. Waystalker gonna do a whole lot of nothing since Tequila Sunset. Waystalker is doing great. Waystalker is carrying this game. So why don't we all calm down? Icket. So what happened there is Icket went back for his clan rats because he's trying to give them leadership just so they don't rout instantly, but they did rout instantly. But then Icket's gonna get a free charge of the Spellweaver of High, and now she's stuck on the ground. The Waystalker does nothing. He watches helplessly as a terror rout takes her out. Even though she's got the Opal Amulet, she's doing her best, but her leadership is falling, and Icket is just grinding up those bird feathers. The Waystalker gets another attack towards him, but does miss that one. It looks like she's gonna die. It does not look like Icket's gonna let her get back into the sky. Bad turn of events for the Wood Elves. They're almost going to get army lost, which is insane to me because the Waystalker was doing so much work on Ikit before. But Ikit's going to kill off that caster. The Waystalker's going for the Clan Rats because he doesn't want to have to fight Ikit on support. There goes the Lord. Does the bounce power shift hard enough against the Waystalker that he gets destroyed by it? Or can he get these Clan Rats off the battlefield? Because they'll shatter. They'll shatter for sure. This is their last route. But he's gonna back off. Ikit's trying to reform ranks. I honestly think the Waystalker beats Ikit in melee. But the balance of power and losing his Lord, he could just get terror-outed. So he charges into Ikit, gets another hit on Ikit. Every hit for the Waystalker is a blessing so that the balance of power doesn't get worse. And the Waystalker has more capture weight than Ikit at this point. Ikit's 2 damaged, so... Yeah, there's no hope of out-capturing the Wood Elves at this point. You need to kill them, which I know he knows. All right, Waystalker, do you stop the Clan Rats? Do you countercharge Ikit? Looks like he's trying to countercharge Ikit. He does get knocked over. The Clan Rats are coming in. And they're feeling good. They're feeling good about their leadership. They're like, yeah, we're chilling. Lord's nearby, flank secured, everything's good. Everything's great. Terror route in! It's the terror route onto the Waystalker. He couldn't hold. He just couldn't hold. Oh, that's funny. Terror out OP. The Forest Dragon got taken out nice and early. Waystalker did a great job. Eternal Guard and Dryad's not going to get a lot versus Skaven. Archers did okay. Glade Riders did fine. Wild Riders did pretty darn well. On the other side, Ikit Claw with the 3,200 value post nerfs. Slingers all paid for themselves. Globes did fine. Natty Boobos did fine. Dogs got murdered off screen. I honestly didn't see them at all because I'm an idiot. And Rat Ogres did okay. This has been. It was a good game. It was a great game. We'll see Milky Way in finals, but I'm sure Felix and Leodoro are sick of waiting for me. So let's go find them here. Actually, do Leodoro and Felix, do they have a lobby? Y'all got a lobby. Is it game? Is it Sigma? It might be Sigma. Hold on. It might be Sigma. Invalid password. Well, I don't know what it is if it's not 123. Chat, start a poll. Clip it. Clip game for video or new content. Clip. New. All right, I'm putting up a poll. Do you guys think that game was good enough to be worthy of clipping it out and just releasing it as a standalone video? Or do you, because the trade-off there is that's a day where you don't get new content. So I'm curious what y'all think. Ah, there we go. Here's the lobby, and the code is 12345. If it's Sigma, it was whatever. Okay, 12345. Joining the game. Blocker. And we're in. It was so bad you have to delete the stream. Damn it. You hate to see it. Doc Karaz. More Wood Elves. Do the Wood Elves show up in 50% of our top 4 and not make it to finals? It might be. Blocker is down as we load in. It's a Dark Caster. Oh, it's a Doombolt caster. Leodoro's not fucking around. Dun 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 dun. For the Lizardmen. As the armies get set up, we have Cold One Spear Riders paired with Feral Cold Ones on the flanks, 4 Kroxigors charging straight forward, 4 Skink Cohorts, 2 Skink Skirmishers, and Mazda Mundi Onslaught with Net Apotheosis and Harmonic Convergence, and then he has his 2 bound spells for clearing out a lot of stuff. I am terrified because I don't believe in Kroxigors. I don't think they're bad. I just don't believe in them. So I'm scared. But they look cool as hell. Holy. Oh, he's the last defenders? Okay. The last defender's color scheme is sick then, because these Kroxigors look amazing. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to watch Kroxigors because their models look incredible. Moving on. For the Wood Elves. Glade Riders in abundance, 1 Wild Rider, 4 Eternal Guard, and the 5 Eternal Guard, and the Race of the Frozen Heart. And then there it is, the Glade Guard spam. Starfire Shafts and Hagbane Tips mixed throughout, but that is a lot of damage coming in. And ooh, Blade Wind. You took the Dark Magic, Leo, and you didn't take OP busted as hell Doombolt? What is this? What is this? All right, Blade Wind it is. Gonna clear out some skinks. I kind of get it. He wants to clear up the skinks so his archers can focus on Kroxigors and Feral Cold Ones and whatever else is coming his way, I suppose. It's a good build. This is a really good, strong Wood Elf build. The other side's not a bad build. I'm just scared. I'm scared for the Kroxigors. If the Kroxigors show up and do a lot of work, then I'll eat my words, and then this build's OP, OP, OP. But I'm scared for them. The rest of it's fine. I mean, skinks are good. Cold Ones are good after all their buffs. Mazda's great. Kroxigors aren't bad. My favorite is the Wardens of the Living Pools. I'll have to check it out. I've lost control over my apprentice. Mazdan's lock for reduced missile resistance. Yeah, he does have more missile resistance on his toilet seat than on Zlok, but he's faster here and he can cause a lot of disruption and he has more HP. I get it. I think both are good. I think Mazda in any form is great in this matchup. I love Zlok, by the way. Look at him. Such a good lad. Hey Mazda, where are we going today? I want to eat bugs. Can we go to the prairie again, Mazda? No, child, we must kill. I don't want to kill. We always kill. When will we go to the prairie? I want to go to the prairie, Mazda. After this battle, we will go to the prairie. See, Zlok's all happy that he gets to go to the prairie after this battle, but what Mazda didn't tell him is he knows in the great plan that they are bound to die at this battle. Victory or defeat, Mazda and Zlok will die here. And he'll go to the eternal prairie. In the fields of oblivion. Well, now I'm bummed out. I don't want to cast this game anymore. Fucking Mazda lying to Zlok. Look at him. He's such a good boy. He doesn't even know. Doesn't even know. I'm sad now. Ugh. I'm going to cast the game from underneath because I'm depressed. To the farm upstate. To the prairie upstate, dude. I mean, look at all these Wood Elves. How is Zlok getting out of this? Fields of Oblivion remastered. I hope they get the... I hope they get the remaster at least. Zlok deserves that. The Oblivion remaster was dope. Had a lot of fun. Game started. Focus up. Game started. Mazda and Zlok charging forward. Ride now. Ride to ruin. The Rohirrim charge would have been a little different if their mounts moved like this, right? It would have been a lot cuter and a little less epic. Blade Wind is out. Blade Wind is murdering a skink skirmisher. And now archers are also murdering the same skink skirmisher, but the archers do need to focus up. They need to target prioritize the Kroxigors. Probably leave Mazda alone. You don't have a net and he has a lot of healing. So ignore Mazda, take out the Crocsgores, and then in the hyper late game, when Mazda's all alone, then you'll just deal with him because he'll be the last thing left. But it is important to take out the harassment. Good banishment in from Mazda Mundi. I imagine we'll see Ruination of Cities right here, because then it has the possibility to shift into 2 different Glade Guard, and yeah, in it comes. So let's see Felix's RNG. Oh! One of the bolts was really good. The other 2 went off into nowhere, but still, one of the bolts is really good. Mazda's in here now, and this is the benefit of Zlok over the toilet seat, is his ability to penetrate the backline all by himself, cause terror, cause disruption, and push these Glade Guard back. Frontline is not holding very well. They really need the archer support. But we can see over here where the archers got to shoot. I wasn't watching it, but we already have a dead Crocscore. So this is what the Wood Elves want to do. They need to throw their cavalry into bad melee fights to buy time for archers to kill everything else. But we'll see if they have the time to do it. Damage value is very similar at the moment, but Mazda is being such a huge problem for the Wood Elves in the backline. And I'm worried about that Blade Wind choice. Like, I really don't love it. A net onto the Wild Riders to stop them from stopping his Cold One charges. But the Blade Wind, like, it's on such a long cooldown, and it's really, this battle isn't going to be about the Skinks. It goes Blade Wind cast on the Cold Ones, but that is unlucky, man. It goes between 2 different groups of the same units. Some of the units get stuck on the Eternal Guard and are outside the Blade Wind, and some got to continue on and ran through the Blade Wind, but neither sat in it. So the casts have not been going the Wood Elves' way. But the archers are getting a lot of damage out. These Cold One Riders are taking a lot of damage. On the top side, the Cold One Riders and the Skinks are taking a lot of damage. So the Wood Elves are dealing a lot of damage. If their caster could get some actual shit done. If they had taken, like, unironically, if they had taken OP Doombolt, but the Blade Wind call is, the Siren's call of the bad spell is just too strong sometimes. Race to the Frozen Heart about to break, allowing another Crocscore into the backline. More Skinks and Crocscores are reaching the backline, but the Wood Elves have rallied some archers, and the Lizardmen are running into a width problem. They don't have enough stuff to chase all this crap down, so whatever they don't immediately chase is going to rally and start shooting them in the butt. Mazda's big. Mazda's ominous. Mazda's just one guy. Feral Cold Ones do come back. They rear charge some Glade Guard, which is nice. Glade Rider's going to try and peel for the Glade Guard, but don't worry, the Glade Eternal Guard will have to protect the Glade Guard of the Spear Riders, Glade Eternals. So the Eternal Glade Guard Riders can save Mazda Mundi from the Glade of riding cold. That makes sense? No, because Wood Elves named way too many shit the same shit. Eternal Guard, Glade Riders, Glade Riders Spears, Glade Guard Starfire Shaft. Everything's a damn Glade and a Guard. Anyway, moving on. I'm moving on. I'm over it. Mazda's still trying to disrupt the backline. We are running out of Lizardmen. Some of the Crocscore is getting very low. We still have a couple Skink Skirmishers around, and nice job here for the Feral Cold Ones. Chasing off that very healthy Wild Rider was actually a huge loss for the Wood Elves. So that's quite nice. Mazda's full HP bar from healing himself is making the balance of power a little deceptive, as a beautiful Ruination of Cities hits like 4 units, and they're all terror routing, and that might just be it. As I was saying, the balance of power is a little fraudulent. I mean, murdering 4 units with a Ruination of Cities will do it. Mazda keeps harassing, keeps annoying, pushing away the Glade Guard. Now the Wood Elves are running out of archers, as there are Crocsagores just trying to chase these guys at the edge of the map. They're doing their damnedest to get all these guys away. Go, push them out. If the Wood Elves fight the Crocsagores off, they just floor them in? Yes. Another Blade Wind is out onto the Skink Skirmishers, but that spell has underwhelmed me compared to the Doom Bolt. 357 damage value, more like half of one Doom Bolt's damage value. Glade Rider's still trying to peel, but there's not a lot left to peel for. We have 1 very wounded Glade Guard. 2 may rally in the far distance, but they're so wounded again. Their damage potential isn't going to be that high, honestly. It's not high enough to kill Mazda. Damage values on the left-hand side aren't that different, but the Lizardmen have been healing a bunch, so the Wood Elves actually need to be ahead on the damage value to be even. We can see the balance of power kind of reflects that. Can these Glade Guard kill the Crocsagores before the Crocsagores get to them? No, but they can try. As Eternal Guard continue to grind with the Crocsagores. Terror routing Glade Riders do rally. But Mazda, again, waddles his way over towards the Glade Guard. He's been doing a great job all game of making sure to just constantly target archers, be a nuisance for them. Crocscore's taking a lot of damage, but I think at this point, even if we get to the late game state where it is just Mazda versus the rest of the Wood Elves, the rest of the Wood Elves are so tattered he can probably win that fight. He should be fine. Crocscores go off the battlefield. Cold and Spear Riders barely manage to rally with 2 leadership, but they do rally. Quick Apotheosis in for the Crocscores. Army loss is going to hit the Wood Elves. And that is G to the G. All right. Glade Guard, decent value across. Some of them got wrecked as the game started by like Ruination of Cities or Banishment or Mazda running in, but overall I liked it. Mazda did well. Skink Cohorts did well. Crocscores overall did fine. I liked both builds overall. I do think this like pretty much is my Wood Elf build, except for the caster. And I don't think Blade Wind does what you needed to do here, unfortunately. Like, that game was really close in the end. Mazda was just able to keep healing. Like, Doombolt is new and it's shiny and whatever, so I don't know how strong that is because it's not usually what I run in this build, but like, I'm just curious what your spell options are as Wood Elves. I'm trying to remember what I usually take there as my Lord, because the rest of the build was pretty much the same. Okay, yeah. I think I just take Lore of Beasts, Flock of Doom. That's good harassment. Or you could take Melkoths for the Coldon Riders. So that could be something. But obviously with the Doombolt buffs, I would definitely take Doombolt. Doombolt seems cracked as hell. So good. We have a finals to cast. Why? I don't want to. I'm not gonna. You can't make me. And then dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. We might be just joining the same lobby. Felix might have been the host. Nope, it's gone. It's gone. So go find Milky Way. Milky Way has a lobby. Finals is going to be Skaven versus Lizardmen. Pretty cool how Wood Elves got to double semifinals and then didn't get to play in the finals. That's pretty great. Love to see that. As I joined as a player, so that's not helpful. Don't do that. Okay, this one is Sigma. We in. Let's go. I want a snack. Do you think that's allowed? Can you start the stream over? I just got here. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we have 120 people watching. Why? Why are you here? I have multiple problems with the 118 people watching. 1, we only have 38 likes on the stream. That's fucked up. 2, I don't even have 100 subscribers, so like 35 of you aren't subscribed. 3, fuck you, I'm gonna go get a snack. I'll be back. I'm back. Hi. And now I'm stuck chewing, which is great. So that's helpful. Good way to cast a game is when I'm busy chewing trail mix. Love the octopus hat hazel screen blocker. It's a good one. Actually, wait, I'm gonna go get my wife. Oh, bye, Michael Hopstead. Guys, she's coming. She's coming. Post nice things about Grace. Guys, she's coming. You don't know why Wood Elf people don't play more Branch Wraith? She's relatively common. Why? What? We love Giant Daddy Longlegs. Yeah, we do.
Hi.
Look at this. Look at the picture I used for my blocker.
Oh, that's a
That's a
that's
really
an old picture too.
Yeah.
She's not as white in her face.
No, that was pretty early on when we got her.
Do you use that when you have to cover the screen?
Yeah, because on this screen you can see what their builds are, but
Right.
that's what they can see.
Yeah. You should just make like a folder of funny hazel, and every time you have to cover it, because we have lots of funny hazel.
We have lots of funny hazel.
Like I can think of one that would be really good for this.
Which one?
It was one we had Bailey doing dog sitting,
Bailey.
and it was one of the pictures that she took where she was like this, and she was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and I zoomed in on it. Yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah. Darth Plagueis says hello, Grace.
Hello. Wow. Ooh, 122 because I'm on here. I
Yeah.
added someone.
You added someone. I'm sorry to drag you away from watching the stream upstairs to now being a part of the stream downstairs.
I wasn't.
You were watching the stream.
We want to see. Well, we got plenty of them. We got lots of funny hazel. Cause he's funny.
Bubba, we're in the finals. Who's gonna win? There's Milky Way and Extraordinary Life of Felix.
Milky Way is good.
All right. All right.
Okay.
You're betting on Milky Way.
What do I get if?
I will personally make you dinner. All right.
I mean, we could do that, but you kind of do that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Trogdor joined the team. Hi, Trogdor.
And she like. I have been a subscriber. I think I was your 100th subscriber, right?
Yeah, you
Like
were.
I feel like we tried to time it so that I got to be like a significant number.
Uh-huh. And you did great.
Great.
We're loading into the game, and Trogdor became a Poisonwind Globadier, which is very nice. Thanks, Trogdor. Yeah. There is rat bias, Freaka. Oh! I'm sleepy. Can you cast the finals and go take a nap?
How long are your finals?
This
Just one game?
This is the one game, and then I was gonna look through the replays I had and see if any of them called out to me like I needed to cast them. But I've already been streaming for 2.5 hours, and that's not a crazy long time. But I am getting sleepy. Nap time!
I might take a nap.
Hell
So
yeah!
it might be.
All right. Well, Felix took Oxyotl, so I'm confused and scared. But thanks for coming down and filling the time with me. That's very nice.
Yeah. You've
Yeah.
been telling you about your grundos?
I have not been telling people about my Grundos. I've been keeping my Grundos a secret.
Okay. Then never mind. For the grundos. Kidding, it doesn't exist. Fake news.
It's just they redid Neopets, and it's dope as hell.
Well, no, not they. The Neopets team did not redo it. It is like a group of developers who decided to make the old school Neopets. And
Yeah,
it's great.
It's
and
been
it's
fun.
Fucking awesome.
We're having a great time.
We are having a great time.
I could show them my Grundo pets.
You should.
Oh
and then
my
you can show
God.
them my Grundo pets.
That's true. That's gonna be a different stream entirely.
Oh, not this game.
Well, we're like maybe after this game, but we're like
So if you do
We're
it
in
after
the
this
finals.
game, you have to call me back down because I want to introduce my pets. You don't get to do that.
I'll put up a vote.
Okay.
I will come get you if it's happening.
Okay.
Bye. All right, start a poll. Check out Grace's Neopets after stream. Yes, no. It's up to you. It's up to you, chat. But we're in the finals. This is the last game. This is the best of one that's going to end it all for everybody. Milky Way, apparent fan favorite. Boo, boo, boo. Milky Way, apparent fan favorite with the Warplock Drazael ROR. Couple Skaven Slave Slingers here and there, some Wolf Rats, some Rat Ogres, a front line of Clan Rat Spears, Icked Claw, and Poison Wind Globes. Standard stuff, strong Skaven build. Apparent fan favorite. On the other side, Felix. Yay, Felix! Yay, it's Felix! We have the Lizardmen with Oxyotl for the first time in like 60 years. Oxyotl and some Skink Skirmishers, some Skink Cohorts with Javelins, Feral Cold Ones, the Umbral Tide, 2 Feral Stegodons, which did just get buffs, and then a Skink Priest of Heavens with Chain Lightning and Wind Blast, and of course, more Kroxigors. Oxyotl in the front line, using his little darts, and he's gonna go shoot at Icked, it looks like. Oh, he's switching. He's gonna go fire at something else now. Check out the Neopets now. Look at the rectangle Skaven. He learned from you, boy. That was a funny timeline where people just used to say I was constantly boxing, and it's like, if you even had anything to defend your flanks at all, they're like, oh, it's a fucking box. It's like, what? No, there's so much open space. All right, Lizardmen are advancing. Natty Boo Sharpshooter's getting a couple hits onto Kroxigors because they can't see Oxyotl. He was still unspottable until like right now. I think they can finally see him. But this is about to get a little scary for both sides. The globe's going to open up on the Lizardmen. We can see big damage coming in for their skinks, but then also the Lizardmen did get into melee relatively unharassed, and we can see the friendly fire from the Skaven plus the charge of the Kroxigors does mean a pretty bad time if you're a Clan Rat Spear. Feral Cold Ones and Skinkcore Javelins might have to deal with a Wolf Rat, but the Wolf Rat for now just appears to be baiting them. And does Icked know where to find Oxy? Because with only 3,700 HP, if Icked hits him with a Flensing Rune, this guy's like flat out dead. In come the sneaky Salamanders, getting a little bit of poke damage onto Icked. Icked does route some of the front line with his Warp Lightnings. Other Skinks are getting through. Kroxigors and Stegodons are getting through as well. I'm scared for the Lizardmen. The bounce power doesn't look great for them either. The shock damage is alarming, but maybe they can hold on and win out as they get through the front lines. End of the line with 20 euros, Team Milky Way. All right, well, now because of capitalism, I have to root for Milky Way. Damn you, flagrant bribery. Ooh, that is a brutal brass orb. Look at it, just churning up almost the entire cohort of Sotek. There's barely any models outside that thing. That is almost a whole unit dead. As Oxyotl continues to just fire at any Rat Ogres, anything he can really get his chompers into, it looks like he's just going to keep shooting at him. I have not seen a lot of casts from the Skink Priest of Heavens. Judging by his limited damage value and limited kills, I'm also feeling justified in wondering where his spells are at. Now the Skaven are starting to rout. We've lost Natty Boobos, we've lost some Poison Wind Globes. His other Poison Wind Globe is still around, but it is getting harassed by the unbreakable cohort of Sotek, who continue to fight on despite getting eaten alive by a brass orb earlier. Some basic Clan Rats came out here, but there we go. First Flensing Rune onto Oxy, and he is next to the Skink Priest, so the Skink Priest is going to take damage too until Oxy gets away from him. And Icked leaves. Nice Overcast Flensing Ruin. Very nice Warp Lightning, so lots of damage coming out from Icked Claw, still trying to carry this game as usual. Our buffed Stegodon does appear to be in a bit of a pickle. Surrounded by Rat Ogres and Skaven Slave Slingers. Mostly the Rat Ogres seem to be what he cares about. Where did the other one go? Did it die? It might have died. No, it's back here. It's fine. It's chilling. Wow, it's actually very much chilling. It's full health. Flensing Ruin took pretty much half of Oxyotl's HP, so he can't let a second one come in ever. We do have some Wolf Rats from Milky Way on the back line, though one of them got a little sleepy in the process and does need to get moving again. We also have some Kroxigors that have gotten a little sleepy. So both sides have a couple of units that need new orders. Wolf Rat's starting to rout. Oxyotl's wandering towards another Wolf Rat. Is this Wolf Rat real? Because everybody's walking real close to it. Skink Skirmishers eventually found it. I was like, the Umbral Tide was going to walk into it. Oxy was going to walk into it. I'm scared and confused. Skaven are up on the balance of power. Lizardmen are up on the actual damage value. Skink cohorts with Javelins are back. They need to be rallied, they need to be turned, and they need to shoot at rat ogres. If they could get their full volley off onto rat ogres, they actually do insane damage. As globes find their way onto the Umbral Tide, ooh, that is a bit of a disaster. They do crazy damage to cavalry type units, and the Umbral Tide have a lot of cavalry type principles, so they get instantly deleted, and the Skaven are catching up on that damage value. We still have a spooky, scary Stegodon. The Skink cohorts did not get their javelins off on the rat ogres, so the rat ogres are now running them down. If there are natty bubo sharpshooters, are there steroid bubos as well? I love that. We're all talking about being OP. Elves aren't even in the finals. What else dunked on Dark Elves anyway? Oh, okay. I understand now. I was confused what was happening. So for the Lizardmen, they do hold the point currently. They have high leadership, their lord is still alive, and they have a full health Feral Stegodon being a nuisance. For the Skaven, they have more units, though their health bars are generally spread out and pretty low, so it would be pretty easy to route them. The big problem for the Lizardmen from the Skaven side is going to be Ikit. Ikit is a huge menace, and especially if he gets 1 or 2 more Flensing Ruins off onto Oxy, all of a sudden the Lizardmen could lose their lord, and their leadership will get a little sus. Feral Stegodon, though, is hunting Ikit right now, doing a decent job against him and these slingers. A lot of Lizardmen are starting to rout. We still have the Skink Priest of Heavens. Still has 3 kills. I have no idea where his spells have gone, but he's got to have all the Winds of Magic in the universe ready to go. I would love to see a Wind Blast up the line of these clan rats walking in straight formation. That would make me very happy. Various dogs are routing quite often. Oxyotl only has 900 value so far. He's trying to poke Ikit. Ikit's looking. He's trying to find Oxy right now, because he wants to throw his next Flensing Ruin on him, but Oxy's currently, you can see he's unspottable right now. But he's walking towards dogs! No, the dogs are gonna see you, Oxy! The dogs are gonna see you! Ikit's getting closer to finding him in this game of Battleship. But Ikit takes a lot of damage for his efforts. Some of the dogs start to shatter, but he did get a Flensing Ruin onto Oxy, and now he's just gonna retreat. Was it another Overcast? It is another Overcast, so Oxy might flat out die if his RNG is bad. I think if his RNG is neutral or good, he'll be okay. But if he's bad, he could actually just die. Caster got 10 kills, but I think some of that was in melee. I legit have no idea if he has cast any spells. I don't know. I haven't seen any of them. Wind Blasts are pretty quick, but I feel like I would catch a Chain Lightning or 2. Salamander's getting a little bit more poke damage onto Ikit. Speaking of poke damage, Oxy looks like he's doing really good on the RNG. Because remember, the first Overcasted Flensing straight up took him to like 55% HP. The second one brought him down to like 20%, so he seems fine. Now he is getting chased by rat ogres and clan rats, and it seems like most of the Lizardmen abandoned him to his fate. But now the Skaven get a little confused. I wonder if he went unspottable for a second and got them to cancel their orders, but yes, okay, he's hidden now, he's hidden now. He just needs to run. And he has snipe, so he can keep shooting while being hidden, but those rat ogres lost track of him. The Heavens Caster is fine, and the Feral Stegodon of Legend is actually a huge problem for the Skaven right now. Like, a terror-causing, high armor, rampaging monster is actually kind of jacked. As he gets good damage onto Ikit next to the Feral Cold Ones, Ikit has to throw another Brass Orb down to get away. That is his last Brass Orb. The Lizardmen, way up on damage value. They're almost evened out on Bounce of Power. Capture point is halfway done. Skaven are sending some stuff over to go capture that. Heavens Caster, vibing, just chilling. Wait. Where is your Winds of Magic gone? I'm getting pissed. Oxy gets caught again. Rat ogres re-find him as he's running away. And over here we have a big collapse in on these rat ogres. Feral Cold Ones, Croxagors, and the Skink Priest of Heavens all teaming up on these guys, and that actually is doing a lot of damage. Gonna get them routed off pretty soon. Oxy does manage to get back into stalking, so he's running away as the rat ogres keep trying to run towards him and just generally find out where he is. Feral Cold Ones are routing. Croxagors will hold with their superior leadership to the rat ogres. Oxy's running out of ammo. He's gotten okay damage value. But Ikit's looking for him again. Ikit's got another Flensing Ruin for sure. I've only seen 2 overcasts, and we're in 8.5 minutes, so he for sure has the Winds of Magic. The Stegodon, unironically, has to bodyguard. He has to keep Ikit out of range of even a Flensing Ruin. Gets a charge attack on, but Ikit is still in range. Gets the Flensing Ruin down. If it's overcast, Oxy is for sure dead. It's undercast. Maybe he lives. It's unlikely, but maybe he lives. But it's a 3-for-1 value on the Flensing Ruin as it hits Oxy, the caster, and the Stegodon. Bro Rat Ogres punch the Skink Priest of Heavens out of range. Flensing Ruin still has 7 seconds on it. He has 70 HP. No shot for Oxy. He is dead for sure. But speaking of being dead for sure, Chain Lightning onto this Skaven Slave Slinger is going to rout them. Ikit has to path through it for a bit. It actually does like 100 damage to him, so it's not bad. Ikit's leadership is tanking. The Skaven leadership overall is abysmally bad, and the Lizardmen still technically have the point somehow. But it does not seem like it's going to matter. Ikit, no. Ikit, no. Don't go towards the Stegodon. Ikit, don't go towards the light. Okay, he's starting to run away again. We're good. We're chilling. Do the Skaven even have the leadership to take down this Stegodon, though? Real question. As the charge... Speed is a suggestion. 43 speed versus 61, but the charge bonus briefly got the Stegodon in range. Now he's trying to charge again, but he can't quite manage it. His 2 stubby legs can't do it. But, like, look at the Skaven, man. The Rat Ogres don't have the health to surround this Stegodon. Ikit doesn't have the health to deal with it. He just has to hope for Flensing Ruins. And there's a nice wind blast down the Clan Rats to rout them off. Is looking risky. We have a half-health Clan Rat in the far distance, but we have a Skink Priest of Heavens that can totally deal with it. He has spells, like, born to kill random Clan Rats. I actually... unironically, not being silly, think the Lizardmen have this. And there's a Flensing Ruin. Do not let both of them get hit with the Flensing Ruin. So, nice Flensing Ruin. It's going to do some damage to the Heavens Caster. I don't know if it kills him. Maybe. As the Feral Stegodon is still pathing after Ikit, and they kind of need to give this up. They're taking 2-for-1 damage on the Flensing Ruin right now, and they're not taking the point. Just go take the point. Like, you can't catch Ikit. He's much faster than you. You just got to go towards the point. Flensing Ruin is wearing off. The Skink Priest of Heavens will survive it. But the Stegodon's got to now run over. He's got to get a charge onto those Rat Ogres. As the Skink Priest is also trying to do it, but he routs. He's just too scared. But so will the Rat Ogres. So nothing's going to chase him down. He'll be fine. He'll rally. Rat Ogre is going to tear out away from the Stegodon pretty soon. And one Rat Ogre will lead to the other one routing. Skink Priest of Heaven should come back momentarily. Ikit's trying to run him down. I don't know if the Stegodon, like, he's going to be tempted to try and peel and stop Ikit, but I don't know if he can. He doesn't have the speed, so just leave it alone, honestly. Ikit is so low on leadership, but you got to clear out these Clan Rats. You got to get back on the capture point somehow. There's a nice wind blast down those Clan Rats that should tear out them off. He's even throwing down a quick little Chain Lightning just because he thinks his caster is doomed. But damn it, Ikit hits him on the run, but the Stegodon's on the run too. Rear attack, nice charge onto Ikit. Claw, he's so low. His leadership's so low. All of their leadership's so low, and the Stegodon is going after him. Does he get another charge off? He needs that charge bonus to move fast enough, but Ikit does get away. He canceled the Heavens Caster's Chain Lightning. He pushed him around, but is that enough to even win this game as the Rat Ogres are getting super close to routing? The Stegodon's still after them. Stegodon's still after everybody, but he's not on the capture point, so the Skaven can kind of just keep yanking his chain for as long as he wants. But now Ikit is forced to turn around because he drove over the Heavens Caster, which is unironically a disaster. So the Stegodon can catch back up. He can catch back up to his Skink. He can protect him. And if Ikit wants to stay close enough to rout him, Ikit wants to stay close enough to stay in damage. But the Stegodon gets distracted for a brief second, leading Ikit to run over the Skink, knock him on the ground. And the changes to make sure that infantry characters could get hit were not enough for this Skink because he just keeps getting run over. But the Stegodon doesn't have to catch Ikit. The Stegodon just has to catch the Skink of Heavens. That's all he needs, because if he catches the Skink of Heavens, he can bodyguard him. And if Ikit wants to stay in range, he's going to stay in charge range. And that's a big problem. The Skaven are doomed. The only way they win this game is if Ikit has another Flensing Ruin in his pocket, or if the Lizardmen never go back to the capture point. But a Warp Lightning cast feels desperate. He does not have the Winds of Magic for a Flensing Ruin if he wasted any Winds of Magic on a Warp Lightning cast. There's the Stegodon with the charge animation. It's forcing him away. He's got to let the Skink rally or suffer the consequences. The Skink will come back come hell or high water. Stegodon's just got to peel Ikit, which it's trying to do. And the rest of these Skaven are useless. But, oh, this is so risky. If it gets an attack on Ikit, he's right next to the edge of the map. It gets an attack on Ikit. He's going to route straight off the map. It's over. It's over. The Stegodon got him. Stegodon carry. OP. Can't be stopped. Stegodon OP. It can't be stopped because the Stegodon's too strong. Just Dun 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 dun. This game is done. It gets off the map. Army loss is gonna hit immediately as soon as it goes off the map. Just you wait for it. They're gone. Those guys are gone. Everybody's fucking gone except for the clan rat in the corner. There's still a clan rat in the corner. Oof. How new are the players? Pretty darn new. Pretty darn new. The Crocs believe in you, human boy. Sorry, Crocs, I didn't believe in you. What was the point of the Heavens Caster? It was for the late game. It was for the late game. This match is still going. It is still going. But Milky Way is going to throw in the towel. I think that we could all see that. The Heavens Caster had Winds of Magic left. He had 2 good infantry clearing spells. And the Stegodon was not going to be harmed by those Clan Rat Spears. So, yeah. It was over. Okay, Human Boy wrong about army losses. I forgot there was a Clan Rat in the corner. I forgot about that. To be fair, most of you forgot about it too. Stegodons, OP. Croc scores did their jobs too. GG. And Felix wins his returning tournament in very close games. Honestly, both semifinals and the finals were all pretty darn close. That was crazy. That was nuts. That's another game I want to clip. Ugh. I just want to clip them all. I'll write myself a note to maybe do a 2-for-1. Because both the Skaven games were absolutely insane. GG's to RTK Extraordinary Life of Felix. It was truly an extraordinary life. I'm gonna look through the replays I have and see if any like call out to me as like must cast games, but otherwise I'm gonna be done. I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry. Hey, there's Felix versus Milky Way. Apparently during the normal tournament they had a fight and they had Queek Headtaker versus Fireslan. Interesting. Okay. Lord Nearquad with what the hell is this? That's crazy. More wagons in full cav. All right, my voice is getting tired. We've done a lot of screaming. So I am gonna call it on the Warhammer. Stick around if you want to check out Grace's Neopets. We'll pull up some Neopets, do some Neopet dumb bullshit. But as far as the Warhammer goes, we are done for the day. Is Maverick Sloth streaming? I think he is. We'll raid him when we're done. But for now, I'm gonna pull up my Grundos. All right, I'll go find Grace. 1 second. Warhammer's over. If you were just here for Warhammer, leave. Okay. I know you're in a black screen. Hang on, I'll pull up the thing. What up? That's my display. You want the other one? There we go. So while Grace comes down, we got my guys. So I got an Eerie. He's a pirate. He's got a little mini pirate, like mini Eerie friend, Humbug, the pirate Allbot. His name's Figgis. Then I have Donovan Prime. Because you have to pick a name no one has, and I wanted Donovan, but Donovan was already taken, so whatever. But he's a Jetsam, a Moroccan Jetsam, so he's a shark, and he has a little ghost shark friend, Toasty the Ghosty.
I did not know his name. It's cute.
It's so good. Then we have Xanthum, but he has a bunch of Zzz because he was a snake person. And he's got Queek, the not so gummy rat, so he has a little rat friend. And then we have Quangle. Look at fucking Quangle. And he just has a ghost because I need to find him something better. But we've Quangle.
And you have to explain that Quangle's color is like they did, so the people who made this, like, they made alternate colors for some of the animals. And so, like, some of them, they did, like, the original artwork. So, like, that's what a Quiggle used to look like with the, like, first iteration of Neopets before they, like, fine-tuned everything.
So Quiggles normally look like that.
Right. And then they have some alternate colors where it looks like the original. And it just looks silly.
It just looks stupid.
My goal is I'm gonna get one of those too, because they're just so fucking funny.
They're so great. All right, I gotta go find you somehow.
Just search.
Okay. You're that one?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. We'll go find Grace.
Okay.
Oh no, she's
I'm gonna
piloting.
Control it. Okay, so I have 4 animals, or 4
Sorry,
Neopets.
can you click on Google Chrome?
Yeah. Oop, oh no.
Pull up new player tournament. Just it's fine. Just I want to see chat again. There we go.
There.
Chat's
Okay. All hail Quangle, honestly though.
All hail Quangle.
Oh, that's right. This is behind. Okay. All right. So this was my first Neopet. His name is Braccolio, and he's a Bloomaroo, but he's a sketch Bloomaroo, but the alternate color of a sketch Bloomaroo, which is the little doodle guy. And he's got a little pet named Frank, who's a doodle Frillibon. So that's cute. We love that. And that, do you want me to get rid of this?
That's fine. I'm just watching chat, which is over here.
Oh, okay.
I know what's going on the
Okay.
screen. Then.
So that's Braccolio.
I love Braccolio.
And then this is
Cherith,
and he's a pepper chia. I love him. He's just so funny. And
Look at your stats. His strength is weak. His defense is poor. His movement is breakneck. Why are you so fast?
I don't know. I don't do anything with their stats. Because that's not important to me when I play Neopets.
So fast. You're faster than any of my guys, and my guys have all been training for like the last.
Yeah, I don't train any of mine. So
why are you?
All of mine are weak, by the way, and like they're well, except for the one that I've been zapping with the library. He's been getting like pretty good stats, I think. But...
No, my guys are jacked. They've been winning the Battle Dome. I don't know why you have Usain Bolt levels of speed over here.
Okay, and then he has Gwendolyn, the strawberry Gwarts, as his pet. So that's cute.
That's cute.
And this is Janice.
Janice.
No, Janice.
I know, but it looks like Janice.
Yeah, she's a Moroccan Jub. Weak, vulnerable, but super speedy.
Why are you so fast? Why do you get to be... I want to be fast. No. Hang on. Because I can hit back and get back here easily. Like, speedy,
above average.
Fast. And then this guy's slow. So all my guys started at slow. And I've been sending them to this training school.
This OP, he cannot.
You cannot run miscast. I've been sending them to this goddamn training ninja school to get faster, and Grace's pets are still faster than mine, and she hasn't done shit, apparently. Anyway.
Someone asked, what is this? Okay, maybe you've never played Neopets before. This is like nostalgia.
Yeah, it's just nostalgia. You like raise an online pet, and you can play little games to get money to buy them food and clothes and stuff.
And like customize them. So like this guy doesn't like Jubs don't normally look like this. I gave him a skin basically is I guess what you call it.
You buy skins but not with real money. You buy skins with the money you get from playing the games.
Points. Yeah.
I haven't spent a cent on this.
Jesus, you need to put some of this in your bank, otherwise someone's gonna steal it.
Nah, I have 9 million in the bank.
Grace's pets are just built different. They really are. Okay, and then
you're telling us about Janice.
Okay, and I didn't show you Janice's. Janice has this little guy who's a slime, and his name is Steve.
Yeah, little guy.
What am I call it? Starfish, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is my newest pet. They're boring because I just made them, and this is this is my lab pet. So I unlocked the lab ray, and so then this is gonna be the pet that I'll zap with it, and sometimes that like changes its stats, but sometimes it changes like the color of it or like the species and like gives you some random shit. So its name is Loris, and right now it's a Norbu, but it hasn't changed into anything fun. And then this is their pet, and his name is Bert the Bilgus, and I just think that guy is
this
hilarious.
a millennial thing? It is definitely a millennial thing.
This was like, Neopets was like early 2000s, like online, like it's a web browser video game. It's not even a video game. What would you call this? Like,
I don't know. But I have to show them something. So, all right. So when you click on something, you can go into the marketplace where, like, this is the marketplace. You can see I'm selling this thing. Everybody's selling this thing, right? And there's all different prices.
God.
And there's all sorts of different things. Now, Human Boy is a shitter, and I get my fun out of weird things.
Yeah, you really
so
do.
I bought all of this one. I am the only one in the whole ecosystem that has this pencil. And if you want this pencil, you got to come to my shop. And when I started buying them up, I changed my shop's name to the Rainbow Sci Bunny Pencil Vault, owned by Tricera. Rainbow Sci Bunny Pencil Stewart says Rainbow Sci Bunny pencils are my life now. This will be the only source of Rainbow Sci Bunny pencils anywhere in the world. I will lose any amount of money to make this happen. My conquest will be complete. I bought these things for way more money than I am selling them. And if you want to fuck with me, go get a Grundos account, get some, and then sell them for more than I'm selling them, because I will buy them from you. These are mine. I have all of them.
Someone said it's an Excel sheet game. It's kind of true.
Bert the Bilgus is great.
Bert the Bilgus is great. I was going for all of my Neopets have like alliterative names. Well, Loris, the one that's the lab pet, I made it with an L name because its species might change, but all the other ones have names that are alliterative to their species. So, and then all the pets too.
Yeah, I gotta find something for
Quangle.
Quangle. We gotta find something suitably derpy and dumb for Quangle. But I haven't looked, so I gave him a ghost in the meantime.
There's so many pets, so it's like...
It's a bat boy. Ugh.
That's actually really funny.
Ava bot. Oh, that's a robot. Screw robots. All right. Random thing. Help me. What's an ooh? It's just an ooh.
Oh my god, I love it.
I kind of love it.
That's awesome. Okay, here, let me find a random one.
Uh-oh.
This
She's
is
finding
fun
a random
now.
one.
This is what Human Boy's channel now is. How about this? Tanizard. Yeah, that's boring.
It's boring, but it's kind of cool. All right, we'll do 2 more pets to try and find one for Quangle,
Jowlard.
and then we'll shut her down. That's interesting. Ours usually were like medieval themed. Yeah, kind of reminds me of like
Ponka.
RuneScape. I used to play
Aww.
that. That is cute.
I feel like the ooh is good so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Your pet right now isn't that good.
No, he's kind of dumb. All right. That was the stream, everybody. Thanks for hanging around for the post-stream Grundo moment.
Cafe.
I gotta go get some more food in my little body. And then we're gonna go hang out with my cousin. That'll be fun. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Get out of here. Shoot. Oh yeah, I was gonna raid Maverick. I don't know if I know Maverick. Sloth. Puppy. Redirect. Maverick Sloth.
You should redirect to...
I don't think Hazel's streaming, honey. Bring forward some more new players. Maverick Sloth doesn't have rating enabled, you troll! Whatever. I'll raid Tim. Alright, go hang out with Tim. Bye.